Building an application without using any NPM packages can be a very difficult task. Hi, my name is Nazir Ahmad Sardar. I am a front-end engineer. Welcome to my channel, Education Not Information. Too many dependencies can cause our application a slow performance. What we want to be using here, that is the packages we are using in this section, but we are using here a database and Nextjs framework, which is built on React and React DOM. We don't have any dependencies except depth dependencies. We're gonna build a slideshow, a beautiful slideshow as you see, using a JavaScript Tailwindcss. We're gonna use a popular products. We will be coding ourselves how can we get popular products. We will be building a review components where we can display reviews from the database. As you see, they have different colors. We are looping and somehow we need to manage to have each component their own color. And here we have a Tailwind scroller. That scroller has been built just with the Tailwind. We're not using anything. And we have beautiful footer where we're displaying a nice fire, because that is a restaurant website. We will be displaying this. And we have a menu page where we display our products. We have a navigation where we can look through our products, and we can also click on detail page to see the product. Read about the product in the detail page. Of course, we have related products. Somehow we need to code to get the related products. And these are also clickable. We can choose to see which product we want to see. And we have also reservation page. We can go from here or from here on the menu where we can reserve a table. The best part of the reservation table is we can choose our date, not from yesterday, from today onwards. And we are also not able to reserve a table before 11 p.m. We should be able to reserve it before 10 p.m. The security has been provided as well. We have beautiful icons. We can click on it. Not only that, we can also provide you some small challenges on the way when we're building our application. It is, of course, one of the most important we use is responsive. A menu page and reservation page. But if we go to the smaller screens, is for the for desktops, smaller desktops, and if you go to the tablets or smaller laptops, we'll see that screen appears. And if we go to a smaller tablets, we will have a different kind of styles appears here. And everything has been managed carefully. We don't see the menu, but we do see the photos and reservation. And if we go to the smaller screens for phones, we will have a different design and different kind of layout. Okay, let's just get on it. We need a code editor for that to code in it. If you do have a code editor, just start your code editor, make an folder, and then we can get started. I have already a code editor that is a Visual Code, and if you don't have, you can go to Visual Code and download. You can have any code editor you want to use and code along with me. But we do need a Node.js. If you don't have, you need to install one. After installing all these things, then we can go to Nextjs and then get started. First of all, what I need to create a folder where my project will be. I will go to desktop and create a new folder and name it AI Grill. And then click and drag and put on my code editor. This is the folder I will be installing my project inside. Let's close this and then open my terminal. And I'm in AI Grill folder. I'm going back to Nextjs, and this is the command we need. Copy and paste the command and then enter. It is going to ask question, what's your project name? My project name is AI Grill, but I want to install everything in this folder. I will not provide any name. I will just do dot and that's it. TypeScript, no, we're not going to be using TypeScript. ESLint, yes, of course. Tailwind, of course, we will be using Tailwind. We don't need any source directory. App router, we will be using app router. Turbo Pack, yes, it's just for development. speed up our development server. Alias will not be using it. Let's just start building our project. It's going to start building our project. The good thing is with this, and everything will be set up for us very fast. Let's see, it's not fast, it is fast. But one thing I will always recommend to do is to read the documentation of the Nextjs. There are a lot of good information provided here. You can read about it. Just clear my terminal and then I'm going to start my development server. NPM run div, enter, and then we will do copy this one and then paste it into the browser, enter. This is what we see. This is just a boilerplate provided by Next.js. Well, we don't need this one. What I will do, I'm going to clean everything we have here. Just open this page. I will clean my app page. I will do Control A and delete, and then create from to return some text and save it. I might want to increase the font to see it better. I want to go to the layout page. I don't need the font. I wanted to get rid of the font as well. We'll give it some title and copy and paste the same. AI grid restaurant. You can write anything you want. I don't need the class, the body. Once I finish, I can save this one, close it, and in the public folder, what all these images we don't need. We can get rid of all these images. And also, I don't want the font. Get rid of the font as well. And now everything is clean. Let's go just build our. The one thing I need to just change here is the font. I don't want to keep this font. I want to have a different font instead. The family font, I want to use the Fidana. Okay, now everything is clean up. Now is the time to create our application. Let me just tell you what we want to do. What we want to do here is to create 3 rows. One will be navigation, the second will be content, and the third will be a footer. This is what we want to achieve. Our root layout. I will create a main div which will contain the other elements, and it will be a main element. Now we will have a navigation as a header element, navigation, and then I will have, of course, a section element which contain content, and we will have a footer which will contain a footer. Let's start with the main element. The ideas I already have provided the element. That means I need to create 3 grid rows. This is name and then grid rows of 3. I need for this one. And what I need for the class and footer, for them I need some kind of background. I need background orange, color of maybe, let's just give them a background gradient to top to right from orange 600 to orange 500, and I will need to provide some height for this one. This one will have height of 16 and this one will have height of 60, and save it. Now we have our layout, and just click the grid and see the grid is on. We see the layout here. Now the problem with layout is the layout is all the 3 sections have the same height, and the height comes from third element, from the footer. If the footer has a height 60, all 3 will have the height of 60. If the footer any element will have a higher height, all 3 elements will gain the same height. This is what we don't want. I don't want to have this functionality. What I want instead, that this one has their own height. The header, the navigation is supposed to have height of 16, and that's supposed to have height of 60, and this one should be scalable. Now, to make this one scalable, I need to first provide a height here on the parent element. I'll call main height. I will make a dynamic height, dvh, and that is a dynamic repo height. And it's not going to take any effect right now, because of the reason is, if you check this rows, it has a grid template rows repeating 3 times. We don't want to repeat this 3 times. We want to have our custom one, which will have an auto, 1FR, and auto. But this kind of design is not built in the Tailwindcss. But Tailwindcss provide us, we can use our own custom properties. After rows, I will do bracket and bracket. open and close bracket, where I can say auto. I can't do comma because it's not going to work. You have to do underscore and do 1FR and then underscore auto. And when you save it, and now you see it is adjusting the way it's supposed to be. That's what we want have in our screen to be welcome. But there's two things missing: the clip path. I already provided the clip path. They are in the global CSS. You just need to copy the CSS name and pass it here, and this one pass it here. So it's supposed to be put a clip, and once you save, it will take effect. This is what we want. In this lesson, we are going to build our logo and navigation. Let's get started. For that, we need to go to app folder and components folder and create a new folder. I'll give it the name of header and create a file, a header file as well, and I'm going to export the file. I'll name it header. You can give it any name you want. You can give it a navigation name if you like. It will be a nav element and navigation. Save. Go to copy and import the navigation, the header component here, which will have our navigation and the logo. Let's go. We have our navigation here. Let's go just create our navigation. For that, we need a link component from next.link. We will be using link component because we want to make logo clickable, and we need to go back to home page if we are on a different page. I will name it AI grill, and let's style it. I'll give it a class name. Just give him some background color of lime and some padding of top and bottom and padding of left and right. Of course, if we save it, go back, we have our logo, but we need to make our nav class flex and give them some height as well. I want to center items, item center, and justify content space between. I am putting a class of justify between because I want to move my menu items to the right side. For that, let's go create our, we save and see, and our logo is fixed. Let's create our navigation. For that, I need to copy or to have the same classes, and I want to make them 3 times. But I need to change the color to orange, and that will be home page, menu page, where it linked to menu, and reservation page, which will link to reservation page. And save. We have our menu. It doesn't look nice. We scale it. We need to provide some, not children, but class name of flex. Save, and give it some gap, a custom gap of 2 pixels, and now we have our navigation. Our navigation is finished, but what we want now, we want our navigation to give them an active class. When we click on it, it should have a different background. For that, Nextjs provides us a use path hook, declare a variable, and I'm going to check my, and of course I'm using use path name. When I'm using use path name, for that reason I need to make my component use client, otherwise it's not going to work. If we go to our link and cut that one, I need to make this template literal. I will say you need to enter the code. So if the path is the same as that path, if they both match, then I want to have different background. I want to have lime background, else I can keep my own background, which is that one. Save. Use path name is not defined. I need to import the use path name and save. Now we have our navigation with different background. And now if we copy and paste that information here and here and change the condition here and save it, and now we see it is taking effect on all our menu items. Creating a navigation is that easy with Tailwind and Nextjs. We're going to build footer next. We're going to create new folder for the footer inside the component folders. We'll name it footer and create a file, name it footer.js. Export the file. We need to go to our layout.js and import the footer. Save, and we have our footer. Before we start styling our footer, I want to move all my contents to the middle of the page. For that, Tailwind has a utility class which is a container class which has the breakpoints for all the items. Is the container class have different breakpoint. When we move to that breakpoint, we want to move our content to the middle, and to do that we need to make margin left and right auto. As we go now, we have to save, and you see the home page is moving left right. We need to do that for navigation and for the footer as well. I can copy that and paste it to the header. It's moving now, and also I need for the footer as well. And that's it, that's what we want. What we want for our footer, we want to have 5 columns on medium screen. On smaller screen we want 3 columns, and we want grid, and it's very easy to do that. We can do grid cos 3 for smaller screens, grid cos 5, a background of M, and we save. We need to create our columns here. I will create article, and this will be our first column. A paragraph, let's say, give us a call, where we can provide our phone number, some dummy phone number, fake number. We're going to style, give him some different color, or give him a text of lime and some drop shadow, and I'll make the text base. That's the font size, which is 16, and the rest of my items should have the font size of small. For now I'm gonna say text, or let's give them some smaller than base, maybe 10 pixel. We can do that. We can say 0.7 RAM. Save. Let's go check. That's all we see. Okay, let's move that one a little bit. Give them a margin of top of 12. It's gonna move down, and let's inspect it. Okay, we have our grid with 5 columns, and what we want now to have, each column should have 2 rows. We're going to provide 2 rows to article. Before I do that, I'm going to copy and paste and make a new article here. I'm going to move the H1 to the top, and P. I'm going to create a new section here where I can have my opening hours. This one here, okay, 4 of them, change this to opening hours. And now we want to have each article and have a class name. I'm going to provide row span of 2 and then make them grid. And when we go back, now we see our items are in each cell, but each element is not in their own cell. We want them to be in their own cell, each element. For example, we have H1 should be in their own cell, and section should be in their own cell. To get that kind of functionality, we have to make our grid subgrid, and then it's going to work. We have to give them a grid row of subgrid, then it's going to work. And we want to make them a subgrid. It means it should be independent from the top grid, to have their own grid rows. And when we save, go back, now we see we have our grids here nicely displayed, the heading and the section, the heading and the phone number. We're going to fill all the data here. I'm going to fill everything, and after that we're going to go and make our social icons. I have copy and paste all the data that we have provided. Some dummy data is in the asset folder. If you go to the asset folder, you will see here restaurant MD file, which contains dummy data. I've used the data to fill in all the information. The last column has been filled in with links, and I put the links as well here instead of p tags, but I haven't styled it. I'm going to style it with you guys now. I'll give it some class name. There should be in a hover. I want them to have different text color. Yep, we need to make them flex to display as a column. I'm giving some gap for mobile purposes, be easily touchable. Okay, we have done our footer navigation. Now we need to do our, I want to create a new copyright section, but shouldn't be here in the footer. It should be beneath the footer. Make its section. I need to provide some fragment here to get rid of this squiggly, and this section should have some height and a different background color. Save. We have that here section, and maybe I can get some opacities, background opacity, maybe instead of opacity, background opacity of, yeah, that look nice. Now we're gonna create our copyright section here. We're going to have a b tag, will contain my copyright text, and I need to just have these some class names to make it smaller text here. The custom text. Now we have our custom text here, and margin top. Maybe we can do margin top and bottom here. Remove it. Yep, it looks nice now. Remove this top and bottom. I have my copyright. What I need now to create my icons, and I want the icons to be in different section where I can have my links. Maybe they're not internal links. I'm gonna make them just an HTML link. I just provide here X for Twitter. Now we're going to style them. I need to have these two sections, a flex box, items to be centered, and justify content to be spaced between. That I can see the X here, literally on this side. Let's make them put them in the container. Margin left and right auto. Now we see the X here. Let's style the X first. Give them some class name, out of 7, width of 7, to make them flex as well. Items center, justify content also center, and make it rounded full. Let's see the rounded full here, rounded full. Give a border, giving gray background 700, and hover on it and need the background gray 950. Save. There's my icon. What we want here to give them a little bit of maybe padding top in here, maybe padding top. They look nice. They align nicely and hoverable. Now we have our Twitter icon here. What I want you guys to create your own icons the way I did it. You need to just copy and paste and make 3 more icons. Is a challenge. You can make one LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or any icons you like. Give them different colors and you will have the icons. I will leave this for you guys to complete it. We will be doing the next section, which is the slideshow. Time to create our slideshow. We will create slideshow inside the home page there will be more components here. From now on we will be using data. We will be using product data. There is a dummy data provided. We want to use the dummy data from now on, and I also have provided some images to use them as well. Okay, let's go to the component and create a new folder here and name it home. Inside the home folder we will create file.js. We can say export. And now we're not going to be using anymore the layout. Let's go to this one class, and I want to make this a grid and give a gap of. I need to import the products, and I need to provide this product to as a prop. Now we have our section slider here. The slider will have 4 columns. First I need to make this grid and give them a 4 columns, height of maybe 80 for now, a site, and the second one will be, I will use the second one is figure. Class name, it will have call span 1, and this one will have call span 3, and inspect. Okay, we have something here. Now I have 4 columns. One is for the text and the other 3 are for the slideshow. To see them I will give them a border, and if you go back now you can see them. Let me just turn off the trick. Now you can see them rounded small. I will put image, and I will import in next image from Nextjs. If you want you can read more about the image in the documentation. It needs a source. If your images are in public folder you don't need to do /. You can just say slash and provide the name of the image you want to import, and it does also expect an alt. First we're going to go into public folder. I have already provided images here, and the image I want to use is this one, charcoal, and I'm going to provide here charcoal.jpg, and I need to copy this one and paste this here. But the image also expects us some width and height. We will provide width of 300 and height of 300, and I will provide them 100% width and 100% height, which I will say full width and full. It means 100% of width, 100% of height. These heights are dependent on these grid height. Misspelled it. Let's provide G and C, and now we have our image. Okay, we will fix this image. Don't worry about that. Object cover. We should fix our problem. Now it's fixed. I need also the text on top of image as well. Inside that I will make H1, and I will have the heading of the image. Let's say heading for now, and then also I need a p tag for the description. Let's say description is down here. Items to be on top of the image. To do this we need to make this absolute, and this is the parent. A parent should be a relative to take effect. Now we have the text here, heading, top, bottom, and left and right. To color I will just give them a lime of 600. Should be 600. Data here is a product. If I do, when I say products, the first item, I need the name, and it's not working because it should be in brackets. And if I go, I get the first name of the thing, and if I do same for description, save, and I have the description as well here. Flex and flex, I should be columns, and now they have some gap between, and it's working. To make this dynamic we were going to use state. use state hook from React, because our components are always a server components unless we tell them this is a client component. Now we can assign data here. What I want the index of the element to change. We need to use a time or set interval inside the use effect, which will take care of the effects for us. Time the index changes, every time the index changes, I need the use effect to take this in consideration and think about it, that this has been changed to take care of the side effects. Okay, and now let's just set up interval. I will name it set timeout. There is a callback function. I want to say about 2 seconds, and I'm gonna set index because I'm mutating the index. I'm gonna set it, and what was my index? My index should be a number 0. It should start with the 0, and I want to update every time. After every 2 seconds, I want to update my state. I can say previous index. Now I'm going to check. There will be a check. I'm going to check if my index, which is 0, is less than products dot length. Increment the index by 1. Else, I'm going to start from the beginning back. This is what I want to do. There's a cleanup function that's provided by React itself. You can clean up every time the interval change. I can provide this as an interval, save it. You have to specify the index here because somewhere. So I want to give them some glowing effect, make it temperature. What I want to do here, I want to just to specify every time the index grows, it means in 2 seconds, every 2 seconds it should also have some kind of glowing effect. And there is an animated class provided by Tailwind. We can use that. Let me just show you what I mean. I say if the index is every time increased by 1, if that is true, I will just apply this animated pulse class. If you see now, it's like burning charcoal. Image maybe it's a little bit darker now. Okay, we can see the text clearly. It's not too light. It looks very nice now. Now we can also, if we want, you can also apply some drop shadow to text to come forward as well. If it will just come forward with a drop shadow. Complaining about to missing dependency product.length. We can just copy this one and comma and paste, and then this will solve our problem. Is this section products.map or images through image. This is going to complain about the key, and now let's say image.id. Close it, and now I can create my images. Okay, what we need first, we need a source. Be image dot here and source URL. So remember, and alt image name or title. Provide the width, maybe 500, and height 500 as well. So fix this one. I will have a class with a full and height of full, and of course I need to do object cover. Cool. What I need to do, because I need to make this flex to take the effect, flex shrink and flex grow 0 as well. All these width and heights to be here to fit the image. But now, as you see, my images are all, because of their flex, they're going side by side from here to there. The reason I put my images like this is because I want to slide my image from right to left every time the image appears in YouTube. I can just do overflow hidden, they will hide them. Now all the images are hidden now. I'm using the first image. I need to give him also some transaction for the feeling. Transaction all, transition all. Now I need to move my image from left to right. To do this, I need to provide the index. Somehow I need to provide the index to image to move. Now it does not have any information to move from left to right. I want this one to have this information to move. We have the timer here. This index will take care of our images to move from right to left every time it changes. How can we do that? We can just simply tell the image and create in a style, and the style will be an object in Nextjs, and I will say translate. And what do I want to translate? I want to translate, let me just make it this. I want to translate from left to maybe minus 100% times index, and I want a percent. The percent here, that's I made a mistake. I want the percent here, and now, as you see now, every 2 seconds the image moves from right to left because it translates the image and show you the image what's happening. If you see my image is now minus 800, minus 900. Once it reaches to the last image, it's going to reset back to 0 and then going to do back minus 100 all the way. I don't know how many images is depending of the length of the image. And then once we are on the last image, it's going to reset back to 0 and then going to go back. This is what it does, because I have my images here. I just wanted to just my index multiplied by minus 100. Every time we translate, I am removing 100% products, and I need to provide the index. I need the title. I just need to put this text inside the image itself in this section. That's the only thing I want. Maybe inside the bigger, in this one, sorry, inside this element I need to put it. To make this happen, I need to make this one relative first, and then go here and make the class name and make this absolute. And okay, I'm going to move left 0, bottom 0. I'm going to give them some kind of background, maybe gray background of 800, and background opacity maybe 5, and the text should have a text of lime 600. Just let's check. We have something. We can move them a little bit up. I can move this by 5 bottom and left and see. Now that was look nice, and I can give them some padding and some rounded small corners. It look nice now. Bullet point and place it on the image. For this I need a section, and I'll create a paragraph. Let's create a bullet point. I'll give the height of 2, width of 2, and I need to be rounded. Can have some kind of background color, lime 600, and drop shadow medium. This one on the image, it need to be top 0, 0. Let's just save it. Okay, we have the bullet point. Let me just move it a little bit down. Now I can see the bullet point. I have created the bullet point, but for the functionality, I will leave this as a challenge for you guys. We have finished our slider. It's time to create our popular section. Before we do that, I want to create some utility class in the global CSS file. to adjust these texts. I will be using a lot for the heading and paragraph, different kind of text. Let's just open our global CSS file and just let's go start creating the Tailwind classes. And inside here, what I want to create my own class. I will add, apply. We can apply the Tailwind classes here. Text base for small and medium. For large ones, I want to have different kind of text large. Now we want to have this one for paragraph as well. I can say p text. For this one, I want to have a little bit different kind of text. I want to have for smaller screens, small size of text, and for medium is small size as well. For large, base, and for this one I need large. For this one I just need extra large. I can apply them to my H1 and P tags. Let's go to the slider, and I have here, can remove this one, apply this to H1, and to the P tags, copy and paste this one, apply this one here. This way I don't need to write the longer classes here. It will look a little bit cleaner. We will be using this every time we will have H1 and paragraphs. Let me just apply this one here as well, save it, and it should, now the text is adjusting when we going a smaller screen, larger screen, and larger screen, the texts are adjusting now. Okay, so we are finished with this one. Now it's time to go and create I will create a new file inside the home folder. It will be a popular products.js. I'm not creating a folder. This component will belong to home page. Let's save. I need to go to my page.js and import. I do need the data to be passed here as well because we'll be working with the products. We also need, let me just open the data file. We also need the data for the customers as well. So I need to copy this one and import this one as well. They are both in the same file. They are named export, they are not default export. I need to have this one here as well. I will be using the customer data as well. Let me save this, go here. I need both of them. Now we have imported both of our datas. H1, where we can have our popular products, class name, and I will be using heading text for this one as well, and some margin bottom, some line, maybe 600, and drop shadow medium. I meant not the background. Now it looks nice. In this section we'll make a grid. We need to have 4 columns in this one. There's some gap as well between these. Save. Give them a size. You can see them now. What I want these 2 columns to be 1, and then these 2 should be separate. Let me hide this. This is what I want. I want to have 2 of them here. Display one image here, and one image here. Products, and I want only just 3 items. For this I'm gonna slice the item because I need only 3 items to loop through. I'm going to return this one instead, product.id, and save. Now this is what it happens. When I loop through this, I will get 3 different boxes, but then my first box will not have the same style as the other 2 ones because they have all of them call span 1, 2 different articles. The first one we can create here inside the section, and then we give them 2 columns, and then we loop through 2 items and displaying them like this. It will work. But this is not a good practice in programming. In programming, we should not be repeating because I will be doing a lot of work inside these boxes displaying images and effects and customers. I will be repeating myself. I don't want to do this. To achieve this, we need to think to have some different kind of technique. We need to find out how can we achieve this. If you want to achieve this kind of productivity, we need to use CSS. And CSS will help us in this case. How would the CSS will help us in this case? Let me delete this and comment this out for now. Save. I want the first 3 ones. Okay. Now I need to have this one taking 2 columns instead of 1. And I need to go to the CSS file and I need to create some utility class here as well, and then we'll apply it on the article where we can tell the article we have 3 childrens. Let me show you in the repeat of the thing. You will see here better than I will. You have 1, 2, 3 article here. We have 3 childrens. What I want to have this one 2 spam and this one 1 column. 2 columns, 1 column, 1 column. This is what I want to have here. To achieve this kind of functionality, we will create a new class. I will call it popular. What I will do is a call span 2 for first child and child 1. And if it's child 2 or child 3, we can separate them with the comma. Or child 3, I want to have only 1 column. When I save this, I need to copy this class, go back here and apply. Instead of directly applying this, we need to apply the class here and save it and go back. Now you see we have the design. It's so easy. If we refresh now and we see the first one is taking 2 columns and the other ones are taking 1. This is what we wanted, and we can achieve this one very easily by just adjusting some classes. The border, I need to give some rounded border as well, a small one. And of course what I do need as well here, I need the height as well as here. Instead of always redefining the height here, what we can do, because we need these height should be in different sizes as well. When I save, we can say height inherit, and I do need this one for here as well. Image, I will import the image component from Nextjs. We'll have here is source for this one and all for this one. The source will be product. It's our URL, I think. It does need a width as well. Maybe it's a width of some 300. Height of 300. Class name, which should be a full, and height should be full as well. Object cover, and also a priority because it's our images. To save this one, I'm going to check. We have our images. The 3 images are displaying very nicely, but these are not popular products. Keep in mind, first we need to find out which item is the most sold item. I'm going to go through the products, return product dot sold. But they will give me all the product items and all the items here, the one they are sold. But I am getting all the numbers. This is what I want. I need only the sold field. This field I need it, and I'm getting them. But now I need to somehow find out which one is the most sold item. Or maybe I need the first 3, and it's very easy to do this. We can sort them out. Use a build and sort function. We can just say A and B, and then check them if A is bigger than B, then return. 1, else return -1. I can do just sort here because these are our numbers, and the numbers will not work just with sort. We need to give them some kind of condition to find out the numbers, which one is the highest number. And if you do this, now we have, it starts from lower to higher. Now we need only 3 items here. We don't need all of them. And there's always an easy fix. Again, we can slice them 0, 2, 3, and once we save, we have 3 items. But how can we get the image now? Because we have now the items, which one is the most popular items, but these are numbers. If we loop through this variable, we will be only getting these numbers. We're not getting our image. We need the image and the text and the title. All these things we need as an object. What I want to get this third item first. Just let me get the third item. I need to compare. I want to filter out my item on the third one and see if I can get the last third item object. Let me just create a new variable, call it now, and I'm going to filter. We can say product sold item. That is the bigger and equal to the one, the third last item I was looking, which was the most sold item. I don't want the array, I want the item itself, because I am slicing the item here, because I want to slice them just the last item out of the array to do the comparison. That is true. I want to return my product object, else I need to return. If I save this one and now log the popular item and save and run, this is exactly we wanted. Okay, now we have this. What we can do, we can simply copy this and replace this one here. Now we have only 3 items. With more than 3 items, we can replace all these things and save it. We don't need the console log anymore. We go back. These are our most popular items in this section inside the loop. Of course, I need to give it a class name, and it should be absolute. I'm making this absolute because I want to display this, and I want to create another section, and I want to display only 4 images. I have the data as I'm showing to you. I think I showed the data to you. We have here customers, we have images. These images what we need to display there, and I only want to display 4 customer. To do this, again, we can use a JavaScript method. We want to display only 4 items, and then we're going to loop through these 4 items. Customer, and what to return an image, because this image needs key as well. I will use the customer ID as a key, and then source will be customer dot and alt. I will use customer name, maybe. Save. This image needs some width, smaller one in height too as well. I think the images are, we have the images in the public folder. We can use the priority and save. Look at where these images are. Are they displaying or not? They are not displaying. Ring 1, and then it should be ring white. They need to be rounded 4. And they're not displaying because this is an absolute. The parent should be relative because it has. Yeah. Now we get our images displaying here. I need to move them a little bit down, and to the maybe 1 will be enough. Just see. Yep. They're looking nice. I want to display them inside here. I'm going to do a section, give it a spam. We'll say loved by, something like this. product.sort. We have something now. This is what we wanted, but we're gonna style this one now. We're gonna give them a little bit styling to look nicer. Let's give it start styling with the parent element. Make them flags. Specify space between rounded 4. Give them the tiniest text. Maybe font light. Maybe I will give him background color as well. Gray, some dark color. See how it looks like. Okay, I need to have some spacing between these two. Margin top maybe 1. It's looking nice. Maybe have some kind of a little bit padding left and right as well. No, they look great. I'm going to change the color now. I'm going to give this a different kind of color. I want the text color, and this one can have that. It looks nice. It looks beautiful. Now we have the images box. I can say gap 2 pixel. Okay, we have done this one as well, but now is the other one remain. We have one more. When we hover over image, in the image there will be some kind of dark background displaying on top of image, which should be also absolute, and where we can show some text here or here and some extra information. I will leave this to you guys as a challenge to get your hands on the coding and try it yourself. See if you can achieve this kind of effect. And we will see you in next section where we can display our reviews. I'm going to go back to components, home, and create new save. We need to go back to our page.js and we need to import the review component. Save, and if you go, we have our components. Let's go to review, building our component. For this component I want to have 6 columns. I will make again a grid, give some gap. They should have 2 columns, and this one should have 1 column. Just to see all of the border and save it. Now I have my 4 columns. This is how I want to see my columns, and just going to style them and give them some background color. And this one will have a lime 500. This one will have yellow 500. And this one will have orange 500. Okay. When we loop through these articles, we need to choose which one we want to display. We want to display 1 column or 2 columns. We had exactly the same problem in popular product, and we did solve this problem by going to the CSS. And I want to have to, when I loop through these articles, I want to keep the color as well. I want to have each one their own color. I'm going to provide this to review is an object. We can call this a prop, and we're going to receive the prop here. Customer, I want to display only 4. I'm going to copy one of these ones. If I go through this one, I need to provide the keys. Going to complain about the key. Okay. If I go now the difference is this one is just static style we have, and this one we are looping through. First we're getting all of them the same color, and now we need to give them a new class, comment box. I'm going to apply some classes here. First of all, I need to take care of the columns. How many columns do I want to display for the first one? I want to display 1, but only the screen size is larger. I can say larger. Screen size medium, I do want to display 2 columns. The first one, I can say call spam 2. We can apply our background color as well. Let's do the gradient here. Background gradient to bottom from orange 500 to orange maybe 700. We can have this one now. We are applying this for what? For the first child, of course. And child 1. And we want this second child to have different background color, which should be lime and lime. And the properties will stay the same for the second one as well. Of course, what we want for the third one, we have different color, yellow. This one will always be 2 columns. It doesn't matter if it's a larger screen or smaller screen. I need to keep them always. And we have, of course, the fourth one, the fourth child. What I want to do with the fourth child is to, let me just, if I am on larger screen, but if it's a smaller screen or medium screen, I want to hide this column. I don't want to just display, I don't want to display it. We can say sm hidden md hidden and save it. This will not have any information from the grid. We need to also say when I am on larger screen, this will turn back to grid. And then let's go here, and of course we need to apply this class to, we don't need the spans anymore. We don't need the color, we don't need the border. We need to apply this one here. I have 4 ones and it's not taking in any effect. I need to remove these ones because these ones, I don't want these one anymore. We're working with this one, and here we go. Now as you see, I have 3 different columns. Each column, there's some height to see it. Each column have their own color. It maintain their own color, and they are in medium-sized screen. And that's the reason we have 3 columns here. If we increase this, and that's exactly what I wanted. If I go back to the smaller screen, I have 2, 2, 2, which is 6 columns. Now we have our thing, but now is the time to apply the images section where I can put my image. I need to import the image from Next. Alt width of 32, height of 32, object cover, height, full width, full, rounded, full. So we don't want height of 56. We don't want any height here. Images can have their own custom height here. Could give them height of 12, width of 12, because they are rounded, full, and ring of 2. Let me save this one and go if you can see anything. Yeah, that's quite a lot of images. We're gonna fix this one. It's because I have, okay, we have our images now, and now we need the name of the person as well. We can do h1 and just styling. We'll have heading, text, border, bottom. We need some paragraph here. Paragraph, we need to display the comments of the customer, the review or the comments. Now we can see the data now here, but they're a little bit off. We need to fix this by flex. I prefer not to use flexbox. We're going to use subgrid for that, which is very useful. Let's do that. So I'm going to go to, I want to just apply some class for the paragraph. Text size needs to be a little bit smaller to make this grid, and grid rows subgrid. Save, go back, check. Okay, now we get everything collapsed, all of them. That's because we have specified the subgrid, but we haven't tell them what is this grid for. This is a how many rows do we want for the grid. We want row span of 3. If we specify this, you see everything is aligned. Now we need some a little bit of padding to take care of this. Let me just provide some padding 4 maybe. Check Yep. Now everything is aligned very nicely and easy. Just with this line of code, we haven't used any flexbox, anything like that. We have, if we check this in a smaller screen, it will be staying 3, and if you go to the larger screen and larger, there will be 4 of them. Hi, we have created our review component. Now it's time to create our image scroller component. For this we need to go to our home folder and create new file, Marquee.js, and we need to export the file, save and import this one. For this we need images, and images are stored in the product. These are just a sample data, and if we go to our folder, asset folder, and I have specified I'm exporting these sample data to our project, and it contains our image URL, title, name, price. It contains just an information about the product. We close this one and start working on our Marquee. First we need to go and see, yes, we have our component. We need to style this component. I'm going to style this component first, provide some utility classes. I will just make it flex, give it some height and width of 100%, and I will give it some border to see top and bottom, and there we go. We have our component. Now the sections are, now we need URL, an order list where I can have my photos. Go to loop through the products, and I do want to display maybe 9 items, and then loop through the products. We'll name it product. I can return an order list here where I need to specify the key. Key will be product.id. Inside the order list I need my images, where I can import the Nextjs image component. I need to provide the source here, and alt name, some width, maybe 250, and height. Save. We do need a priority and some class. Width will be 100%, height will be 100%, object will be car. Save, and of course to see the items I need to have width and height, maybe with smaller than height, and make it flex and center items. Save. Now we have our items, all of them here. We need to make them flex as well here. And now we have all of our items here displayed. What we need to do now is to put all my items on the right side of the screen and stack them on each other. To get that functionality, I need to center the items, but there's up as well. First, items.center, because we need to put them in the center of the div. Okay, it's done. For that I need to make my items absolute on the right side of the screen, which will be left. I don't want to left them 100%. I just want to what I'm doing, let's show you this one. What I'm doing, I can do left 4, but I don't want this. I want to have a dynamic port view for this one. And of course, and as you see now, my items are moved to the right side of the screen, and now all the items are stacked on each other. I need to move them from right side to left side depending on the time. First I have an absolute class. It should be a relative to the parent, not to the relative. Yes, now it is moving a little bit to the side as well. For this I need some kind of calculation, and I need also a variable, a width variable, to calculate it in the style sheet in the global CSS file. To do that, I need to specify a variable for the width. I can specify the variable here, and this is object. To specify a variable, we cannot do like this because it's an object. It starts with the camel casing. To get the functionality, we need to put them in double quote and say, I will name it width, and I will have maybe 10 rem for the width, and that's it. Let's just use the width variable in our CSS to create our animation first. And of course, animation should be running in some kind of class. I will give this in class of item. Copy this class as well. So I'm going to create my keyframes. I will call it scroller. From, I'm moving from left 100. We already have specified the dynamic point where my items are, because on this side I want to move from this side and move each item again from left. Now I need to calculate the width of the item, which I specified there, but I want times -1. When my item moves, I want to have some spacing between my item. That's the reason I'm giving this one. It's not going to work right now, but just bear with me. I have specified an item class there. I need to do animation now. Animation is scroller. If this is the animation name, and the animation may be running for 20 seconds. It should be linear and infinite. And save. As you see, my item is moving now, and when the item reaches to the end, is gonna restart from the beginning, just to speed these things up. Again, it's very smaller right now, and as you see now, my item is starting every time from the same position, in appearing and in disappearing. Now what we want now to given some kind of delay to each item. For the one item needs to have a delay, some kind of delay that one item waits for the other item. How can we do this? For this we need more information. What we need, how many items do we have? We can specify a variable again here. We can call it total. In this case we have 9. We have 9 items, and we also need to know which item we are delaying. We need to have some kind of ID to this li item. We need to have some kind of ID to get the li and calculate the timing. We can also give here a variable and specify a variable and name it the position of the item, and the position of the item will be, what will be this? I mean, I am in the loop and there's a 9 item. I don't want to specify each item by the hand 1, 2, 3, 4. I can give them just a number. To get the numbers, the easiest way will be to just specify the index and pass the index here and do it +1 to start it from, to make the position of each item from 1 to 9. To do this, let's just go and inspect the item, the list, and see if we have the position. We may not variable. Okay, we have the position variable here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we also have the variable we were using in the section for total item. We have 9 total items shown. Overflow hidden. You should hide the overflow. Now we see our images moving from right to left, and it's kind of working, but there is one we have the delay issue here. We need to delay the item. To do that, we need to have some kind of formula. For this, we have our total items and we have the position of the item where we can delay the item. We can write delay here on the mission delay, and we can calculate this one. We can say 5 seconds. Let me just increase this one. It's too slow or too fast, sorry. I'm going to increase this one. So that's divided by total items. and there should be one condition times. I need to create different condition where I have my position variable -1. And if I save, now we see our items are scrolling from right to left. And what is this formula? Let me just show you what I mean. We have total items of 9 items. And if I divide this by 9, I get 3.33 second delay millisecond between each item. And if I say 3 times the position of each item can have a position of 1 -1. The first one doesn't have any delay, but the second one, it gets delay of 3 milliseconds, and the third one, it gets delay 3 seconds, and again 3 seconds. It's just moving, each item gets 3 second delay. That's how the formula works, and that's the reason these items are delaying. Just I am finished with the scroller. What I need to do, if I refresh, it should start from here and going back. What we need, we can apply some masks on the left and right side of the image. To do that, can specify, it is a background gradient. We can have our custom background gradient. It's just called mask image. Marquee. I'll take this class, save it, and come here and then paste it and start and say mask image. It is, as I said, it's a background gradient. I will want to have a linear gradient. I'm going to start to right side, and I have the right side transparent, 10% to be grayed out or blacked, and 90% to be visible, and the rest to be transparent as well. And if I do that, you see my images are transparent on left and right. If you want, you can increase this and decrease this. You will see the effect is gonna get more darker. For this purposes, I will be using only 10%. You can play around with the percentage to have your own taste. Okay, we need to have some small adjustment just of border. I need some rounded border, small for the images, and cursor pointer. I need cursor pointer for when I move on the image. I want the image to stop, and to get that, it's very easy. We can, of course, this inside, we can say when we hover over the whole marquee section, I want items to stop or to pause. For this, we have animation, place state, paused, and I will make it important. In some cases it might not work in some browsers, but if you make it important, it should work in all browsers. And if I hover on these items, of course, if you want, because these items, we have item, if you want to give them some kind of scale, hover scale, we can give the scale here, and you can give the scale here as well if you want. If you say hover scale by 150, was too much. I don't want that much, but the idea is you can scale the item. Let's see if I may give them 5 and make transition all to have some. Now you see we have this scaling effect. Okay guys, that's it for home page and all of the components. We have finished our home page. The home page is, we have the slider, we made some popular products and reviews, and we have now the infinite scroller as well, and we are done with the home page. Our next section will be menu, and we will going to work with our menu with our products. How can we display them? There are very nice techniques involved in that. Well, how can we play the navigation and the grid information and some new grid techniques in Tailwind CSS. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you in that section. Take care. We have created our home page. Now it's time to create our menu page. The home page is finished. When I click on menu page, this page could not be found because we have not created any page. In Nextjs, when we want to create a new route, we just have to click on our app folder and create exactly the same app name, the name we have provided in the router. I can copy this one and I create a folder and paste it here. Now, it's not going to work now. We have to provide a page for this folder, and that has to be page.js. If we name it something else, the router will not work. Now we have our page. This is how we create our page in Nextjs, and it's very easy. Just create a folder inside the app. You can give it any name you want to the folder, which will be your router, and file should be page.js. And once you paste this route to the this name to the router, you will see. And we have this menu because we already created this in navigation. If we go to our header, and we already have provided menu, and for reservation we have also already provided reservation. If you want to make a reservation page, you can follow the same steps. Give it this style of grid. I will be creating 4 columns in this page. I'm going to save. I will go back to my component folder and create here a new folder. I will call it menu, where I will have a file. I will call it products. That will be my component, which will contain 2 children components, which will have 2 children components inside the product. I need to import this one, page.js. Okay, I will save this, and now I see my products categories .js. Let me export this one. And import that one here. I don't need a section. First we want to create our category page. Let's construct our category page. I can name this, instead of section, a site. It will be a site navigation bar. I will have an order list. Then I need a link component, and inside the link I want to create maybe a figure. Will be fitting. Have my image. The image will contain source beefsteak.jpg. Copy and paste this one, and the size of the image width, I could just put 150, because the image is in our folder. We can put the priority as well, and we of course need class name, for example 100%. Section where we can have I will provide 2 paragraphs of the item steak, and the second one will have a title. This is what we have. I have already created a grid of 4 columns on the page.js. For this category I need only 1 column, and I will be only 1 column. We give some background to see what we're doing. This is the background for the column. Okay, we have the background, because it's going to apply to the image. We'll need to make the image smaller. For this I will have height of 16 and width of 16. We don't need anything. We can style these ones. I have p text, which have their own text sizes, text lime, and drop shadow medium, grill as well, except this will not be, this will stay. If we now just save it, see, okay, at least we see something right now, but we need to display the steak here and the grill here down element. Maybe I need to give the flex here. It did solve our problem, but we need to give them some padding. left and right here maybe. And this is what we want. I want to loop through these items and display all of my items here. For that I need the data. I will pass the data, this component, to the children component, first to the products and then to the categories. I need here the products, of course, imported. I can import the products here from the data. The assets, I need this one. I need to pass it here. Save, go to the accept as a prop. And then go to the categories and accept as a. Now we can loop through our product here. You say products.map. I need to display each product. I can take all my product items, which is li, paste it here because it does need to have. Let's explain this product.id. And as we save, we have all our products. So they're displaying the same, but I don't want them to. I need to have each products, which we need to replace the image here. Product.url can be also product.name. We have replaced this one, and we need the name here. New set. A new set is a JavaScript built-in object. What's a new set? Let's go. Then we can loop through the products, and once we loop, it will give us an array of items, array of product. The one we choose. We are choosing in this case category, and if I save, now I will have. Can assign this to a variable to log them to see what we get. I can call them categories or category will be fine. If I log this category and save, let's see what we get. As you see, we are getting a unique category from each category. We have steak ones, kebab, platter, sausage and burger. This is exactly what we want. But what is the problem now? We are getting an object. We don't want an object. What we want an array. We can easily turn this to an array just to assigning a bracket in front of all the set and spread everything and save it. As you see now we have an array. This is what we wanted. We have unique category now, but we have an array. What I want here to display an object where I can have my image, name and title displayed, prop as well, and I'm naming it category and passing category as a prop, and I should be receiving category as a prop. Let me do this. Now I have my 5 items here. I can see them as just a style, but I have no information. Image, the title and the name is not displaying. How can we get this information from there? Because we need each individual information. What we can do, first of all, we can create, because we have an array here, we want to create an array of objects. For this, we need the information. What information we need? We need the name, or of course, we can make the name unique as well. And we need the title. We can make the title unique as well. And of course, we need the image URL, and we can make the image URL unique as well. Now we have each unique item, but these unique items are not the same as the category. They will have a different information. It is because I am taking out all the unique item out of a name field and a title field and an image field. I don't want this. I want all this information to be connected with the category. It is a little bit, it is not difficult, it's just very easy. And let me just show you how can we combine them. We can give them a name is a filtered items. You can name it whatever you want. I will name it category filtered items. I'm going to loop through the category because there's an array of unique items. I can call them category because I need to return. Now what do I want to return? I want to return a new object because I'm creating a new object. In this case, I can give them name. I can name this category as well because, and the second one I will name the name, which is that one, but I can't say name just name because I need somehow to find the name of this product, what I made it unique. I don't want to have the name of, I made this one a unique is a steak. I want to have this information cherry. I don't want to have the grilled steak, sorry. I do need all the information from this steak, not from that one, because this is at the moment a unique item I'm retrieving. To do that, I have to find the name. I can name it, we can just say everything item, because it'll be easy. Find product. I can name it item, the variable, the new variable. And now what do I want to find? I want to find the category, the unique category, and match the name with it. And we can do this by doing a sum method. In JavaScript, a sum method really does a function that accepts up to 3 arguments. The sum method that predicts the function for each element in the array until the prediction returns a value which is corresponding to the Boolean value, true or false, or until the end of array. This is what it does, the sum function. It has been explained here as well. And because it says it returns a Boolean value, and we're going to go and check again an item. We can pass different name, but I'm going to go with the item again. I'm going to check item.category. If that is the same to that category or that one, they both match, and I want item.name should match that name. Or I should name this name, sorry, should match that name. If they both match, that means I have the same category with the same name. If you go to the here, I will show you that category which have a steak and that have a name. Now they both gonna match. It's not gonna match with that one. There's also a category steak because we have filtered the unique items, and we'll be showing only one steak which will match with that name. And if you go back and console.log the filtered item and check it, now you see I have a steak with cherry steak, which is exactly the same as that one, which is filtering out this one as well. And for the kebab, for the platter, if you find here kebab, we're getting that one, and which is exactly what we wanted. Now we can repeat ourselves, copying pasting all this data. We do need the title, of course. We can change this to title. Title and looping with the title again. Finding the title, I can name this title as well. Any titles, and check item.title. So it's made with the item.title, and then we have, of course, the image URL. I'm looping through that one. I'm giving the same name, and that one is image URL, but that one is not the image URL. That should be comparing these two. Save it and see if we get. Now we have constructed our 4 unique objects. A category is steak. It has a name, it has a title, and it has an image URL, and they all matches. And if we close this one and pass this information to here instead, now I'm going to remove the log. I'm going to go back to categories and receive that information. We need, of course, to change this to image URL now and save it. We get our unique items, picture, name, and title. That's how we get our unique information filtered out. It is of course easy. It's always easy to filter out unique item, but the biggest challenge was how can we construct an array back to an object where we can have a different item but they do match with the unique item. The product page, of course we need to create a new component, call it product list. List save. We need to go here and import the product list. Yeah, now we have our product list, 3 of them. I need 3 crossband here. I need to give them some height just to see it. Maybe height of 40 will be enough, and some background color. Our background, what we need here now, we do need grid here. Grid. I need grid for this one to display each product. Instead, what I will do, I will create this one in the global CSS, and I provide here some kind of class. Say product list grid, and I will copy this one, and it's good. Open our thing and go to app, global CSS. So I'm going to pass this here. Now we can create our own global style here to display the grid. What I told you, what I want this to have some kind of auto fitting system. It will have some kind of width as well. To do this, we can just say grid template columns. I want columns to repeat. I do want them to repeat, but instead I want them to have an auto fit. They need to be fit automatically, and min-max, minimum and maximum. What is my minimum? Minimum I want to have always 15 RAM, and maximum is 1 FR. Is going to adjust by the screen. If the screen adjusts, the width will adjust by itself as well. And I'm going to save this one here. Going to go back to my grid column here. Once I'm here, I need them to have the height and width, because I already have the width there. And of course, what I need to have some gap between these items to see it. Now these items are not, it doesn't have any height. We don't want to provide the height, because the height should be, when we fill the item here in, it will show the height itself. So I mean, just make, I can give this one of course a height just to see what's happening inside this. Save it, receive the data, and now we can work with the data. And of course I want the article inside here. You can loop through the data now. Let me just display 4 or 5 items. I don't want to display too much items on the screen right now. Maybe I want to display 7 items. I'm going to map through each product and return, because it doesn't need the key. Product ID. Now as you see, I have my 7 items displayed here. If we shrink them, you see they're moving, and this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to have this functionality that we can just start creating our whole section. We can have our image inside here, of course. Image, need to import that one, and you should give this a source. Row. Let me close it. It's expecting an alt as well, and the image name, and some width, some height, priority of course, and class name. I want to have full height of color. Now they're fitting nicely, all of them here. Section here, name it, will have some h1 name, product title, div here, which I never use, but this time we'll try to use a div which will have a paragraph of price, information, product, and I want to have also a button or a link which shows me the detail of the item. I need to of course import this one. Can be the same for everyone. This details here, I can make them flex, save. Yeah, I want them side by side. Text of P, heading text, and text line maybe 500 for that one, and get some drop shadow as well, and save. I need to make the whole box a subgrid first. I need to go back to the article and make the article subgrid, and which will have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. I can give them this will be row span of 4. It should be grid, and it should be grid sub, should be rows subgrid, and save it. And now go to our inspection and go back and inspect this one. And if we inspect, we have our 1 column. These are not taking effect. It's just showing 1, 2 column. The other 2 columns are collapsed like we used to have them there in the other one. That's the reason we need to make that section, this one is a subgrid as well, because they live in their own subgrid. If we come here, I think we need to we want them to have also row span of 3, and make them grid, and grid row subgrid. If you see, yeah, and now you see they're taking the effect. The image stays in this place, and this one have their own subgrid. Make them a little bit, scale them down inside, and we of course might need some kind of padding. We might need padding for this one to move them, or instead I can have padding for all of them, and a padding for this one, for that one as well. I need a padding, but I don't need the padding for the div. I will tell you why I don't need the padding for the div, because I need to construct it differently. Let me just start applying classes to these one to see what I mean. Class name will have text P for all of them. Anyway, I don't need a text. I can make them flex. I don't want the flex box. Background line maybe. Save. Both of them black. The whole area black. And I want to cover half of the size of grid with the price, and the half I want to leave for the detail. I can do this 50% with, or 50% for the price section. You can do that, and yep, now that's what I wanted. I have that one. Only thing is I need to give them some padding. Padding up and down to great. Padding here, because I need the padding for the link as well. I need to text center both of them. Functionality here as well. Yep, now they are taking the same effect, both of them. And of course, when I want to hover on this detail button, I want to change the color to different, maybe not this, but orange. Background width, yeah, is working. Need to apply some transition to make a little bit smooth effect. That's great. I think we are finished for right now for this design, and they look very nice. And if I change the screen size, they're moving and they're adjusting. This is exactly what I wanted, and this is what I mean using our custom template column, and the fit will fit every single item for us automatically. The grid algorithm will do that for us. We finished. Now the next functionality is to click on each of these items and display the related item here. I don't want to display all the items. I just want to display items based on the category. For that, we need to go back to our products, and we need to somehow filter out our items. And as if we see here in our product page, we first need to specify we want to filter out each category. And I say const, I can give it a name of cards or product list. I will need to loop through the product again, because I need to loop through the product and filter the items. Filtering on what do you want to filter the item? We want to filter item based on category, item dot category. But what does that will give us? Sorry, it's not item, it's product dot category. And if I console log filtered item, filter product lists items, I do get all the items. This is not what we want, but do we need to come with some kind of, we need to find the item here and to find the category somehow. We need to find the category here, the one we are clicking, and based on that we want to display these items. We need to have some kind of extra information here. First we need to specify the information inside the URL. Search prompts, normally they used to call this one, we call hooks, they name it. Have the parentheses here is again telling me that I need to use client for that to get working. Okay, let me just copy this one and make this use client. Is asking me to make this one a use client. I'm making this one a use client. I can assign this to search prompts. And now this use search prompts have properties. If you search prompts dot get, we can provide the string, the one we want to looking for inside the URL. I mean, I haven't specified anything in the URL. Let's do just this one first. I need to do this inside the, because I'm clicking on these links, I have to provide this to this link, to that link. When I'm clicking here, when I click, it should attach a new variable on my URL. To do that, I need to go to the category, because I have already here a link, and I need to provide this information here in the category to have the effect. For this, we have built in URL search prompts where we can give them a variable. Because I am already here and I have the information from the category as well, I can use that. Okay, let's just go and change the href, because when I link, I want to have some information. I want to have a variable, and I want to have also a variable pointing to the category I want. First, I'm going to create a new object here, a built-in browser object, URL search prompts, I think. Okay, and we can provide an object inside new URL prompts, and where in the object I want to give them a key, and what I'm searching for is product.category. This is what I'm searching for. This category is coming back from our product, because we have here a category and a unique category, or that might be even coming from the data as well. But this is what the moment we click on this category, we want to create a new URL which will have a variable of q and which will point to the category the one we click on it. If we save the information here and we go back to our product page, and then we need to provide to the search prompt, what is your variable name? We have given the variable name q here. Okay, I will do, and I need to assign this to maybe in the variable, and yeah, I can assign this to variable because I'm going to do check here in the filter const. I can call this query. Now I'm going to copy this query. Now I'm checking, I'm saying if I'm filtering out my product category, if that matches the query I'm clicking, which will be burger or steak or one of the unique category, if they do match, I want to have my product object. Else they don't match, I need to return null and save it. And I need to log this first here, console.log, post the filter item here, save it. At the moment I should be seeing anything. Anyway, I don't need this. Is in a browser built-in object. I don't need to import anything. Yeah, and if you go back here and I click on each of the item, you see I get my queue is Bob. Of course, we don't have any dynamic. I don't have any page right now we don't have the we haven't passed information to here. When I click to display the information here, we will pass the information. But the point is, when I click on the burger, it should say burger. This is what we wanted. And let me just now pass the information to the product list. I'm telling now, instead of passing product to the product list, I want to pass the filtered product list here. Then we remove this one and go back to our product and replace this one. I don't want to slice anymore. And save it, and still queue is kebab because it should need some kind of I missed maybe the question mark here. That's the reason I missed the question mark. Now when we click, it makes a dynamic page for us which search the item on category name and it displays the items here. But when we go back to home page and come back, we don't see any. We can tell here to the product, I want to search the item, or if I'm not searching coming from somewhere else, I want to display the first category, which is steak in that case. And if I save, it's not going to get, but it will give me a steak. Even I go back to home, back to menu, I see all my steaks here. Yeah. Now we have done our work and we have finished this. It was a very long video. Before we leave, I need to do some small CSS classes. When I click here, I need to make this active. I need to make each category active when I click on it. To do that, I'm here in category, but I need information. I can use again the same information I have here, and when my URL has the sausages, I want to make this act. To do, I'm gonna go back to the product. I have this information with query. I'm gonna select query and pass this to categories and receive it here and do some conditional check inside my link of where is my link. This is my link. And this is my link class. I want to give them some conditional check. I will say I need to receive the query, of course. I'm going to check for the query. This is the unique category name. If it does match with my product.category, if they do match, I want to have some darker background, maybe different kind of background. The one we do is a hover. Maybe I want that one, when I hover on it. And this one, sorry, as soon as if they do match, and maybe I want that one. Maybe I want also, in this case here, if you click on it, you have that background. It means it's working. This is exactly what we wanted for this. You can style them the way you want. You can make them more beautiful, more different kind of stars if you want. It is already beautiful. It doesn't look ugly to me. But if you like, you can have a lot of different kind of designs here. If you want, you can build your own design. But the idea I'm representing here, how can we have the grid tricks for adjusting the screen, or to have the different kind of displaying of the boxes based on our subgrid. And well, of course, this was the one of the a little bit complicated functionality I was explaining. I hope you guys understood what I said, but if you haven't, you can review again and try it yourself. When you write the code yourself, you will get more understanding than just watching me and explaining to you. Next up, we will make this link dynamic. When we click on this detail, we want to go to the detail page. I have changed a little bit styles, and I have put some customers photos on top of each photo, and I have done this, and I will leave this expressly because I want you guys to do it yourself, and that's the reason I haven't shown you. We have done this kind of functionality in the home page on these pictures. You guys can do that one here on yourself. Try to do it, and there's a little bit different styling here. I have put some border and remove the border from the boxes. It's time now to create our detail page. For the detail page, we need to click on the detail and go to the item details. to do that. And of course I need to mention that there was a product.id, which we don't have product.id. We need to change this to name because that is causing an error and asking to provide a unique ID for the child. React is complaining about. Now we are here in detail button. That is the detail link. We need to change the link, which will take us to the detail page, and we need to make that one dynamic. I will put here, I will be using ID of the item. Of course I changed the ID in here. I didn't mean that one in the products, but I meant in the category. In the category there should be name instead of ID, not in the product list. Now if we go back to our page and we click on one of these items, it will take us to the page where it shows an ID in the URL. But of course we don't see anything here. We need to create a dynamic page for that. Let's go back to the menu and open our Explorer. We're going to go to app, and of course we need to create a new folder inside the menu where we have our products. These could live inside the menu, and we are clicking inside the menu, and we want to be a different route after menu. And the reason we have to also create a folder inside menu. And the folder, when we're creating a folder here, we need to provide brackets like in array brackets, and we can give it here any name we want. I will give an ID. You can name it anything. And inside the folder we also need a page. Let's recreate that back. And I also need page.js. We need to name it page.js, otherwise it's not going to work. Function, I will name it product as a single product and return some data here. Product, save. And as you see, now we have our dynamic page is working. It is a different ID. We can go and click of any of these things. We will give different ID, but it will show always. But now we want to access the ID. And that ID is that variable we have specified inside the folder. It's kind of an array. How can we do that? For that, Nextjs provide us for a prop. It's a proms, and we can extract the ID through the prompt. If we say proms.id, then we will have the access to each single item through the ID. To do that, that is a async function. The prom is in the property of async. We need to make this function async and await that one. And we can assign that one to a variable, or we can destruct the object ID from the proms and remove the ID from here. And now when we pass the ID here and save it, and it should be I spelled that wrong, and that's the reason it wasn't showing. Now it's showing. Now you see we have ID of 17, and if I click we have ID of 2. Now we're getting a product. We can now import the product from here, all the products. Once we have the product, and we can display the product here. Let's say I want to have the first product. I'm going to say dot, and I want to have the product name. Save. I have the product name, but this product is for the first item. It doesn't matter. I click maybe different items from the burger, and it has a limited burger name, and I click, we'll get the same name from the steak. Let's pass the ID and see what will we get, and save it. Now I get double burger. I think that is wrong. I was clicking on limited burger, but I'm getting the next item. It means that we have to, because the array is based on 0, we need to remove one item from the ID to match the item on the one we click. And if we save now and click on special burger, we should have a special. Now we get our data, we have our data. It's time for us to create components. I will pass these data through different components. I want to create a new component. I don't want to use that page. I might want to use a different components because sometimes I want to make them use client. I don't want to make my page items a client-based components, and that's the reason I'm making new components. Always is good to make a components. It's easy to find what we're doing. We can make a new folder inside the menu and we can call it details page or product details, and we can create a new file. We call it product.js. So to save that one and import that one here inside my page.js. We have our product detail page. We need to pass the information to the product detail page. We need to pass the products as a prop. We also need the ID. We need to save it and go back to product details. I need here product, and I need products and ID because I need to return this one. That one should be returned. If I save, then I have my product details. Okay, now is the time we need to have two sections. In first section, I want to display the image. On the second section, I want to display all the details we have. For that one, I can say figure. We will put my image. I need to import the image and pass the source. The source should be, as I mentioned, we are not looping through the items. We are just providing information one by one. And we want the ID -1 dot, and it has source URL. There's a parser information, the name maybe, products name with, just hide this one. We need to make them height object color. We need to provide some rounded borders as well. I should have some class information as well here. I can make this one rounded bordered as well for now. Save, and let's go check. Okay, we have our image. It's quite long image. We're going to fix the image. We can give the height for now, but later I don't want to use the height and width here. I want to use subgrid to control the height of the image, and we can give some width as well. Now we have our image here. That's the first one. And the second one, the first one will be h1. We will have our product name. And the second will be a title. Let's say a paragraph. It says title. And then we have description. We get in the paragraph as well. I think I have this one. It's description. Then we have our ingredient. I will make ingredient. Let me just make a paragraph first. I will say ingredient. I can pass here ingredient. Okay. The other one we have the price, of course. I want to put also some customer photos here, the one that they are reviewed by, a button where they can click reserve a table or just for a reservation. I'll put them in different section. That section will contain some of the information about maybe user. Maybe I can name this footer section, and here I will have, let's say it's a loved by. Then I will have maybe the image information. I just need to pause this first. We get our information. We have our information. It's the time for us to design it. Before I do this, I want to make that a grid. I can make this that one grid and give them grid equals 2, and I need to have some gap as well. Now we have On our left side the photo, on the right side our information. I can style the whole thing for you guys. I would prefer, but let me just start a little bit before, because I said I don't want to use height here. I want to use a subgrid for that. I'll specify my subgrid here. Can I just do grid rows subgrid. I do need 7 rows. Why do I need 7 rows? Because my article have 6 rows, 1 2 3 4 5 6. I do also need a button here, which I want to make it as a 7th row. I can put link here, or for now button. You can change this later. Let me reservation, save it. And that's the reason I have to have 7 rows here. Row spam, not spam row. I do need to have the same exactly information be passed to article. Yes, of course, that's what I'm missing. This should be, the image should be in absolute, and that's the reason it's jumping down. Now we have our items. When these items scales, the image will scale with it, and we can have classes provided to these items to make them a class. And I have already heading class for that one, and we use heading text, and we use line 500 and drop shadow medium. That paragraph I want class as a title. I can have the same heading text as well, and then it can be orange 500 and drop shadow as well. For the description you can have p text. For the gradient we can have also p text. I can make everything p text here, and the one they are heading, they can have the heading to repeat myself every time here. They might have a different, this might have a little bit different kind of color, but from here I want it to have text color of maybe slat 300, just to change a little bit. And this one can have line 500 as well. So I need text, not the background. And now we're getting our data sorted out. I don't need the background here. Once again, it should be text, not the background. And this one should also have a lime color. No, yeah, that's what I want. Now we need to sort these things a little bit out. We can give them a little bit gap between, gap of maybe 3 4. It's not enough. The 4 looks nice. We can have some, because we don't have any background color. If we provide a background color, we might provide a little bit padding here, and here's a gap. We can increase that gap to 4 to have more gap between image and the description. Let's continue styling our component. Let me give it a background, a different background to see it. 700, some padding. Save. We have a different background. Style the footer as well. Give it some styling. We could round it full. Give some background, maybe black for that one. Because I have 2 items, so maybe we can flex as well. Item center, justify contour space between, save. So what I want now, I could give some padding as well. Top and bottom maybe 2. Looks nice. And I have a border as well. White border. Padding top and bottom, padding left and right. I give padding just 2 overall. I don't want the button here. What I want, the images from the customer. I can cut and paste this one here, and here I need to have a different section where I can put my customers. For that I need the customers imported through the prop. copy that one and go back here, accept the prop. We can now loop through the customers. I need to return here image because I need the images of the customer, but it does need the key, customer ID, and its source as well. So dot ng source, and then have alt customer name, some width 32, 100% height, and width 100% as well. It is rounded full ring. I want to have a ring. The ring can have 2, and the background of the ring I want to have the same as the background of button or the section, which is black. Different. I have my images now, or some hack. You need to just do a flex box, just put them on inline display and hiding this. Okay, nice programming, and they have a lot of spacing between each. I can do minus space of left to right, 2, 3, and minusing the space. I'm gonna move. Great. Now we have the images, and we need to change the color here. Text, and they're 500, and we need to put some plus sign here. That's okay. Now we have our customers area where we're showing some text. Now is the time to style our button here. Let me close the sidebar, and I will make it link. For that I need to import the link component. Close the link, and the link should go to the reservation page, because once we click we need to go to reservation page. That's the idea. Reservation. Okay, and we need to style the link as well. We can give them a little bit style. The text we have, the background, do need the background to black as well for that one. And when I hover on it, I want to have the orange background, and center the link text, maybe text center. So that's great. We need some padding. Well, if the 2 will be enough, that's great. Yeah, we just need a little bit rounded, very small. That may be the last one, the transition we need as well. Now our page is finished, where we can see our items here. If we go back to the menu and we click on any image, we will see that image here with the exact same description, what they have, the price, and of course you can put your own currency here. Is the price. This is left by ingredient. So the price here. Now it's done. What we can do now, we're going to go to create a new component. We're not going to stop. We're going to create a new component where we can show related product for that product. If you have any related product for platters, I want to show that products here. For that, I'm finished for that one. I'm going to close the product detail, and I'm going to create a new component inside menu, inside product detail. I'll call it related products, Nextjs. For that, what I call this, what I can call this related products, and return sections related products. Go to save it, go to page, sorry, and related product. And somehow is not showing my component. Okay, we have imported our component. What we need first to simply put our styles inside our related product component before we showing any products here. Heading, because heading text and line 600 should be text, some drop shadow. So save related products. Save. We have our related products here. I want to give here some margin top to remove the product down. Okay, and now we can show our products in section, and we can make them grid is always. The reason I'm not using any grid with the columns is when I scale my screen, I want the grid to adjust by itself. We already have that functionality. We can go to our global CSS file. Let me show you. I think I remember we did here. We have this product list grid. We can use the same functionality here as well. Paste and pass this one, and we might give them some min height of 20 to adjust. We will check the 20 will be too small. Give them 32. We will adjust the height and the grid as well. And we close this one. We don't have anything inside. Here we need to display some items. Article time 4 and C, still nothing. Maybe, yeah, we have now our grid here displaying here. So we need to inspect the grid. We have our, in that case we have 4 columns because we have, let's say we have 4 items, we'll pay 4 columns, but we're going to loop through the data and display the items here. What we can do for now, take our product and pass it as a prop to our page here, and we can display some of them just to style them, just for the styling purpose. We will do the filtering afterwards once we styled everything. I want them to be product slice to display some items. This is items. The map product. I want to display the images, but I want to display the images inside the link. We need to be able to link the images back to display the. If you want to see the same item on the same page, we should be able to see it. For that, we need to make them linkable. I'm going to import that one for here. And we close the link. It should link to the same page. Only need to change the ID of the product, because we are looking for the product dynamically, and which we have to provide the ID here as well. And he's of course is complaining for the key as well. And now we want the image inside. Import the image component. Let's close the image component. We need a source product. It's source URL. We have alt, of course, product dot name. Can provide width. We need to be careful with the width and height. If I misspell, we're looking again for what is going wrong. Have a priority as well, because you need to provide a class height for width for. Maybe I'll have some rounded small as well. Yeah, but I want, instead of giving a full height here, I can have a fixed height on the image to have always the same height. If I have here a fixed height of some maybe 48, and save it, and now I will have a fixed height always. They will have a different width, of course, because of the scaling with screen. We have that related to our grid, the way we have our grid template columns, and we specify the width there. That's the reason the width will change, but the height will stay always the same. Yeah. Now we have finished that area, and we also finished the related products as well. What we want now, we can give the merge bottom as well of maybe 3 to move them a little bit, and not here, in the wrong area. Merge bottom on that one. Yeah. Now it's time to do the calculation. For that we need to go back to the page.js file, and here somehow we need to tell the system that we want the products that have the same category is the one we are displaying here. The moment we click on any category and we click the detail page, we should have the detail page with the image and detail of item, but we should have only displaying the related category here, and that is done as very easy because we need to filter item, filtered related products. It's quite big name. So we're going to go through the products, and then we want, of course, to filter it. We're going to go through each product. I want to return item. Doesn't have an item on the product. Sorry. Dot category. If that matches with what? If that matches, of course, with products, and here we want to specify the category we already clicked on it. Let's say 0. I will say dot category, but this will give us a category, but it will give us just the first category. This is not what we want, but we want the dynamically, the way we have done this here, displaying our product dynamically in let me open this one, and that was in product detail page. That's how we want to dynamically, when we click, we need to have the same product matching with the same category, and we need to display also the same images there. It will be easy to write the code first, and we also to do -1 because the array start with the 0 base. That is true. The product category matches the dynamically clicked category. If they both match, I need the product object. Sorry. Otherwise I have to return no. This is what I want. I want to have product object only when my product category and dynamically clicked category, they both match. If we pass this information here instead now and save it, go back to related products, and now we need to loop through the related products. We don't need to slice anymore, and we save it, and now you see we only have the information which is related to kebab. If we go back and click on that one, I have information related only to steak. If I go here, I'll click on sausages and click here. This is exactly what we want to have that behavior. And we are, of course, we have provided the link here. As I said, if we click on each link, we need to have the information for that product as well. That's the reason we have provided the link here. And as I said, we need to stay on the same page, but we are just changing the ID of the product here in the URL. It will give us the same information because it is a dynamic page. Yeah. Let me just look the error. I will fix the error. I don't know why I'm getting this error. I need to go for this because large image, that's okay. We need to provide a priority here to some. I forgot to provide a priority maybe in product detail page. And to provide here for that one, I'm passing here a customer which I'm not using, and so I'm gonna run this. Should fix the problem here. Yeah, it fixed the problem. Section has been done. Now it's time to go to our reservation page. Before we go there, I see something when I go to home page, when I go to menu page, and from menu page, because we're going to the dynamic page, that is not more active. We need to make that active as well. For that, we need to go back to our, go to header. I need to find the navigation here. Passing. Okay, that is the one. I'm checking if the path is the same as menu, but I'm not checking the children of the menu. To check the children of the menu, what we can do, I can say, just cut that one, and I can say the path dot starts with method from JavaScript, and then I can pass the menu here. Path start with /menu, and it will also pick up the children of the menu, and it will stay active as well. If we save now, you see we're on a detail page, but it's still active. If we go back to the menu and we click on the detail page, it's still active. But if we go somewhere else, it's not active anymore. Okay, that's how we can do. If we say path starts with certain path, then we want to have the active link. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next lesson. Hi, welcome back. We have created our menu page in last section. In this section, we are going to create our reservation page. For this, before we start creating our reservation page, I will kindly request you guys to subscribe and like our videos to support us. Okay, let's get started. I will go back to my app component and create new folder, because I'm creating a new route, and I will name it reservation because I have already provided a link. I need to create the link with exactly same name. But if you create with a different name, you have to provide that link name to the folder. The folder name should match with the URL. Inside the reservation page, we're going to create a new file. The file should be named page.js. I'm going to export it. I will save, and I will go back to my reservation page, and I see my reservation page has been displayed. I want here to display two sections. One section for collecting the data as a form, and another section where I can display when the table has been reserved. To do that, I'm going to go back to the component folder and create a new folder. And that folder will be, of course, reservation. Inside that folder, I'm going to create a new file. I will create my form. I will call it a booking page, booking.js, where I can export default the function and action we will provide later. Save, and we need to import the booking component here. Now we have imported our booking component. And if we provide here something, we have our booking component, but I need to make the page.js file 2 columns. I will make, as you guessed, grid calls to. For the smaller screens, I want to have 1 column. I will make this medium screen, and larger screen, medium and larger screen can have 2 columns. But for the smaller screens, I want only 1 column. Save. I'm going to style that one. We need to create some input elements to display. First, we need to create h1 where we can just display some welcome text. First, I'm going to create a section where can I have my input fields. We'll provide label. HTML for it will be for a name input. Name is a name, ID, name. We need to provide autocomplete. I want the autocomplete to be and placeholder where we can say enter your name. We need to have this a required field and save it. And see, we have our input fields. Now is the time to style our input field. We're going to style it first because I need to have 1 column span here. I can give some background color. maybe some padding as well. Okay, we have some background color. We're just heading text and use an orange text. Save. Gonna style our input field. Class name, right, text p. Give some. I want the background to be transparent, and I want to give in a border, bottom maybe, rounded scene. I want outline to be none. We'll have some focus. Save. Now this is our input field. This is how it will look like. We haven't provided the label name. We just put the label here instead of putting it here. I can provide here name. Then save it, and then we have our. But I want to display that in a column. I can make that flex call, and then we can provide some gap between and save it. And this is what we get. If we can type our name here. Yeah, now we need exactly same style for all other input fields. I can just copy and paste for the other field as well, and that field will be where I can collect the email, and I need to pass email here. Enter your email, and type should be email as well, and then we have our email as well. We're gonna fix the indenting. I will copy and paste the rest of the field here. I need a different field now here, and maybe a little bit different structure, but the idea will be the same. Just let me copy that one and paste it here. I want to have now two fields next to each other, and they both should be inside here, and they should have a date and time field. For that I need to create some h1 here, and I will just give it a name of please select date and time, and where I can have all this information in different section. Okay, just copy that one and paste it here, and I need to start changing the data here. This one should be for date, and I need to create a date field, and maybe I will call this AI date. Of course, for HTML4, this one, the date field requires as well, but okay, we will provide the default information later. I'm going to copy label in input and paste it here again. This time I want this will be for AI time, and this will be time field. And this will not have any placeholders because we'll display its own data, and no auto off as well. And I'm going to save, come back, and it's please select your date. This is the date, and this is the date and time. We need to style it a little bit. Section here, the class, then can it flex item center, and then give some gap of 2. I'm going to style the h1 as well. Maybe we can give a little bit barge and bottom 1, and save, see what we get. Okay, there's a little bit spacing. There should be time as well. Sorry, this should be time, not date. We have that one here. We have this. We need to provide the styling to the field itself. They will have a little bit different styling. Let me just line 500, and we can just provide different background. Again, some shadow small, some height as well. The width can be 100%. Now, of course, I need to remove the background, transparent background. I want to have a background column to see the icons here. I can click and see the date and time. And then we have our last field. Let me copy that one and go back and paste it here. That field will be for information where we can collect, I will say people. Given the people is number of people, it should be number. And we'll have the information as you go. Yeah, now we have name, email, we can collect date and time and number of people. But as you know, as I always be using in the application, the subgrid, which I love, which will fix everything for us automatically. I'll give them a, for example, for that one, I will provide 6 rows where I will have 6 spam rows, which will adjust by itself. And for that, I need to make that element grid and grid row subgrid. And if I do that, it will fix all my problem. We need to provide a little bit gap here between the rows, gap of 8, of 9. Now it has fixed everything. I'm not using any flexbox. Now each element is in their own section, and the subgrid will take care of that problem for me. Of course, I have to provide button as well, which I haven't. I need to make one button where I can submit my data. I can create a button here. I need to make type. I can say make reservation is fine. Class is gonna have a text of small. Insert mode. Text of P and height of 12. Width of 4, of course. And I need around. Let's make the rounded small, and background color will be dark. I can have hover color be orange. Save. Yep, that's what I want. I need to give them a little bit transition. I need to give them just a transition for the smooth effect. Okay, our form has been created. As I said, now we have our form, and now is the time to provide the default values here. When I come to my website, I want to see the date appears as the same day what we're looking for. I want this date to be appeared in here, not just DDMMY. But I want the date to be a current date and the time to be a current time. We can provide a default values for that ones to adjust this. Let's go to our date field, and we can provide here value. We can't provide just value here because in React.js, if we provide value here, it will give an error because it's a controlled value. Instead, if we want to display something is a value here, we need to, let me just say something. For example, I need to have current date time here. I need to construct new date time. I'm going to say date. I can say get. It's just, that's not the real. I'm just get the full year, for example, now, and save it. If we go back, we're getting an error. That's what I was saying. You will get an error here because it's not going to work. It's going to tell us that the input field is changed and uncontrolled to be controlled, and for that we need to provide the on change function, and we don't want that right now. Well, we want to have a value, but we want to have a default value instead, which has nothing to do with our controlled and uncontrolled value, and the error goes away. You will not see the error anymore. But this is not correct, of course. I'm going to check. I'm going to make my own, construct my own date time for that one. I was just explaining we need to provide default value instead of value. We will provide value for the check later. How can we get the date now? There are packages we can use, but as I said, I don't want to use packages things. I want to do more things myself. I want to code things myself to understand what I'm doing. There are packages. Packages are very handy thing to do, but you can do these things with JavaScript very easily yourself. We can construct our own date to our own test. I will make a current date. I will declare a current date variable, give you a new date object. What I can do, I will say today, declare new variable today, and get the new date. And then I want, there is a built-in ISO string. Let me save that one and show you what that is. Console.log today. I need to remove that for now. This is what we get here. But what I want is that side of the date, not that side of the date. As you see, it has T in between. We have date and then we have time. This is the timestamp and this is the date. I want that side of the date. For that, what we can do, we can split the date. You can just say split. And once we split, we want to split it on T. Let me show you that. If you do that, it's been split in an array now. I have here a date, I have a time here, but I need that area. For that, I need to access the first element. Array is based on 0. And when I save, now I have my date here. Yeah, that's how we get the date. And once we have our date, you have the console, copy that, and then go back to your date field, which is that one. And now we can provide default value and paste today here and save, and we have our date. That's how we get our date display in the field. And now it's time to create the time as well. I'm going to go up for the time. I'm going to declare two variables, one for hours, will be current date, get hours, and I want to have a pad start as well. First I need to convert it to string. I need to have the date is time is a string, but I need to have a pad start. I want to have two values which will contain the time. Two, in this case, 2 zeros. They can change. And then we have time, then we have hour. So we have hour and we have time, and we can say get minutes. I want the exact same functionality here. I'm going to declare a new variable, call it current time. I just want to put them together. Here I will have my hours, and then I can pass my current time. Save it. I need to copy current time, go to the time now, and I can pass in default value as well. I pass the current time, and the current time will display here as well. That's how we get the date and time in our component. As I mentioned, that it is very easy to create your own datetime functionality with the JavaScript. There's not too much code, but if you still want to use the package, you can go ahead, but I don't use too many packages in my develop application. Most of the time when I see these things does not require the package, I will just go and create my own code. We have created our form now. Now it's our time to collect the data from the form. We're going to collect the data. We're going to create a function here. We will create a function, an async function, which is also, first we need to create our async function here, and we will call it post booking data, booking, and we will accept a form data. This will have automatically access to form data. The reason it will have automatically access to form data is because we're going to provide the function here without parentheses. We're not calling the function, we're just providing the function to action, which the form will call it for us, and we have access to these fields, name field, all the fields with the name key and name value we have access to. We can declare a new variable and say name, and then we can get the field from there. We say form data dot get, that's a method, and we can provide here name. It should match with this, with that one. It should be, sorry, with that one. It should be the same here. And if we now we need email, and we will need the data from email, and we need the name is AI date in AI time here. And of course we need one more. We can have people. Okay, and if we check the last one, we close these ones, it matches people. Now we have our data. We can display our data. We can console log our data, see if we get our data, and we will just log the name, email. And as I said, we need to submit the data instead of just type button to get our data. I made a mistake, error. Okay, this component is a server-side component because it's an async component. We need to make this server, and we need to have this well, I think it was use server, not server. And we save async function. I misspelled it. Now we have our component. We're going to write some click, and we don't get an error. That's a good thing. Let's go and see if we have our data. Okay, that's the server side. We should be seeing the data in here, and we are not seeing anything. Yes, we have the data. Sorry, Anna. That's the email. That's the date and the time, and 2 people. We did receive our data. We are receiving our data. It's the time now to send this data to the database. We can make an object. Before we do that, I have to have some extra information to send as well. The extra information is we do need a reservation, unique reservation ID. You can call it unique ID. They should have some kind of unique ID to show that we have reserved that thing, and it's only meant to be for the guest they are reserving table, and the unique ID shouldn't be the same with other customers. We can provide our own initials. We will say AI, and then we will say and a hash, and we say plus. There is a built-in random IDs inside the browser, crypto.random UUID. Yep, has it here. And we get a random ID every time we create an ID here. Every time we call the crypto, we get a random ID. I will use crypto random ID, and I will get the second part to attach with my AI initials. Crypto.random UUID, and I'm going to split the whole string and make it an array. I want to split it on dash, and then I'll get the second item. Yeah, now we have our unique ID, and we also of course want the image of the customer as well. We're going to create, I'm not creating a field to upload the image. I will just create a random image. It will pick up from there's a website where we can select, we can provide the URL, and will provide us a random image. I will call this image source and paste some URL. I think that URL is called private, and we say is image 3. It will always show the same image. They have images, 70 images. We need exactly that URL. I'm going to copy that URL, paste it here. I don't want the third image. Instead, I want randomly be selected between 1 and 70. I can do that. I can say math. I need to first float the items because I don't want a value between 0.1. I want random values. Method random values between 1 and 70, and that will give me images between 1 and 70. Once we have the image will stay there forever. We're going to save that data in the database. We're going to create database for the. Before I'm going to create a database, I'm going to make my object where I can send the object to the database. const all data, and I'm going to make an object. I'm going to pass name, will be the same, in email, image source, and date, it's not date, time, people, and then we have the last one is unique ID. Now I have my constructed object. I can log the object now in the system, say all booking data, save it, go back. We're going to provide as okay, we say 5 people. Now we have our object here. The object has the name, the email, the image. As I just told you, we can see what kind of image that is, and we have the date, the time, people, and the unique ID is constructed for us as well. We need that information to pass that information to the database. For that we need a database. Let's provide some small check. They need to provide name and email address. If the name in the email are provided and they're not empty string, let's say I'm logging data. We are going to create our database now. For that we're going to go to the beta SQLite 3, and that is the one we want to use, the SQLite database, but we're going to use the beta SQLite 3 version. And what we need to copy that one and stop our project, Control C, paste. We have that is going to install the package for us. Once the package has been installed, we can start our server back. What I want to do, I want to create a new folder in the root folder, not inside the app, but in the root. I will name it lib. Here I want to create a new file. I can name it database.js, and here I can have my database. I want to use the database, and they're telling me if you're using ES modules, it's better to use that code. I'm going to copy that code and paste it here. I don't want to use the options. We don't have any database file here, but if you don't have any file, if you just give it a name here, I will give it AI grill is a file name, and it will create us a database file automatically. So we save. Now we're going to create our, and if you want a documentation, so I forgot to mention that if you want to read documentation about the SQLite, there is a GitHub page. You can go and read about the database documentation. We're going to go back to our website and we're going to create, let's just hide it, everything. We're going to create our database. Here we're going to create first a function where we can have our customer table. I'll create just a function, customer table. What I want to do here, I want to execute a table, and I can say execute the command, which is about to write, and have to be backticks here. For that I'm going to create table. I'm going to say create table if not exists, and I will give it a name. We'll call it customers, and the table now have a module like a schema. What each field represents, we need to provide that. We have an ID. I want the ID to be integer, and it has to be primary key. It means it's gonna auto increment it by itself, and it's provided by the database itself. That's what it means, integer primary key. And I need the name. The name is just a text field, and I want the name to be present all the time. I will say not null and text. And I want the email also text, not null. And I need also comment, can be just text, can be null. And we need the image source, of course, and is a URL and also string. We can say text, not null. And we need date, converted it to text, not null. Text means actually a string. text not null, not null, and people, they are numbers, which will be integer, not null. And then we had one field, we called it, if you go back, we named it unique ID. I need that one is unique ID as well. You can say unique ID, and that is string as well. I need to provide one last field which will have a date time when we create it at, and it should be automatically provided by the database, which they have a field called timestamp. Can be default value and current time stamp. I hope everything is fine. When I save that one and I run the function, when I call the function, it's going to create this table for us. And I hope everything is spelled correctly, integer, and to double check everything, timestamp, and is a current, default current. And if we run that function, it is going to create a table for us. It might be visible now. Let me check, refresh. Okay, it's not showing, but it should be visible here somewhere. But let's just provide some data for. I'm going to remove this one, paste this in just for now, because I've already created a table. I want to create a new function where I can insert the data to the table, customers table. Get a new function. I will create insert collection and insert a lot of data. I'm going to create a declaring variable db dot prepare is a command. I'm going to prepare the data where I can have my insert. I can put the insert query here, insert into customers. It should match with this and customer. The information what we need here is all the information, name, email, and they should match. If they don't match, we will have a problem. Instead, we can copy and paste. You will get an error. Name, email, comment, image. You can do all of them. Date, time, go faster, people, and of course, what we need. The last one is. This is what we need to insert. We need, of course, the unique ID. I don't want to insert that one. That was going to be inserted automatically, and the ID will be inserted automatically as well. I need these informations. I would say values. They have to be on the same order. At name, at email, and then we can write all the information here. I'm going to write all the information. Unique ID. Okay, we have name, email, comment, image, date, time, people, and unique ID. We're going to insert that information inside the table. I'm going to insert it through the function. I'm going to create a new variable. Let's say insert many db dot transition. Inside the transition, we are going to loop through all the customers. I can do for loop. I can say customer of customers, and then I can insert the project, insert the item, say that run, insert the custom. Now I have my function here where a loop is assigned to my variable. What I can do, I can put the variable here, which is of course anonymous function, and that function, because I'm looping through the function, I made an array. I can put the array, all the items here, and it will insert the items hopefully in the table. If we go to back to and get our data here, and we need the customers, we'll copy that one and paste that one here, and it should be date and time as well. And we go up, copy the function, and run the function here. It's going to insert the data to the database in our customer table. We're going to save it. once I save it, let me close this one. For that, we need to create a customer function where we can have our customer data from the database. We can say get customers. Okay, the function we need to return db.prepare. I want here to return the data from the table. Select everything from customers and then all method. I need to run on it. Save. I need that information to be imported in page.js, and then of course you need to be exported. The function need to be exported. Save, and then we should have the information. I'm going to store that one in the variable, name it customers, and customers. Once we log the information, we should see the customers, and we go to the reservation page, and if we check, we have our customers. These customers are coming from the database, although they have an ID as well. Has been injected ID, and that they have then created it and is injected new created date and time as well. Now we have our customer returned here. We need that information. It means we can now post the data to these customers as well from our booking page. We need to create a function where we can post our data to the customer table. For that, we also need to go back to our database and create a new function which accepts, or we can say insert the data. We have created a insert function, but that was just for purposes to insert some dummy data in the database, but that is not our real query. We can create a new function. We can provide the query. We can name it insert booking, and here we need to create a new statement where we can have our data be inserted. Prepare. I'm going to insert data here. Insert into customers table. The information I want to insert here is we're going to insert the name, of course, and we want to insert the email. Let me just look the information. We have name, email, comment, and we have image. Let's say image src, and we have date, time, people, and unique ID. Now we want to insert that information, and we need to provide the values of that information. We can provide the same values here, but that is not safe to provide because it will be vulnerable to a SQL injection attack. To make it safer, we can provide question marks, and we need to count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can provide 8 question marks. 1, 2. Now we have our 8 question marks, and it's gonna. That is the safe way to insert the data in the database. It will be safe from the SQL injection. And we of course accept the data here. I will call it post. We're going to post the data to the table, and I will make that is an object. I'm going to return the statement and run query, where I will have post dot name. I'm going to create keys, post dot email, post.image source. I can provide in the same keys. I don't have to create the new ones. They can match, and it will be easy for us. Time, post.people, post.unique ID. That is the information we are receiving from our form. We need to copy that one. It is exported this time, and I'm going to go here and import the one. I have imported the function. We can create new one. The comment can be null, but there is field called comment, and it can be just an empty string. For now, we're going to provide that one as well here somewhere, and we need the same information to be passed to the database as well, because we have not provided here post comment as well. And then I can direct it email.com. Then 5 people make reservation. Let me just declare a variable customers, and here, that one here, it's already imported. Console.log. I log the customers. If we're getting our data, it means we are successfully entering data in the database. Now we have done that section. We need to create our confirmation section where we can display our data. Tell the user that you have booked a table at that time and date. Before we need to just before we move on, we have our database, we have our table for customer. Let me remove that information. But as you see, there is something we see here. If I click on the date, I'm able to select the date from yesterday, which shouldn't be happening. We should not allow someone to select the date from previous day. We need to solve that issue. How can we solve that issue? That is a very easy fix. Is we can provide it a min and max time to the date, and then it will solve our problem. Let me show you what I mean. We need to go back to here. We're going to go find the date. People, that is it. Okay, we need to provide here the min attribute. It comes with HTML as well. And if we say today, we already have today as a default date. If we say today in mim, we're telling the input that we want only the date from today and onwards. If we save, maybe we refresh and check, we're not able to select anything afterwards. That's exactly what we wanted. But now, what about the time? The restaurant opens at 12 and it closes at 11. Now we should be only allowing them to reserve from 12 and onwards. Maybe till 10, not 11, an hour before closing. We need to tell them that you are able only can select the time for certain times, like 12 till 10. And we can do that almost exactly the same way like we did it here, but they will be a little bit different. First, we will say, because this have a min as well, and minimum value we need to provide. The minimum value will be current time, like we did it there, and the max value will be, I can just make a string. Restaurant closes at 11. We want them to be there, able to select till maybe 10. 10 is 22 hours, or let's say 22 hours maximum, and they should be able to select from that between these times. And if I go here, now I have provided a current time. Current time is from 12 and onwards, we are able to select. Let's just make a new at email.com, and we will leave the date on the same, but the time, as you see, it's not 12 o'clock yet, it's 11. And let's say 5 and make a reservation, and it went through. It shouldn't be going through. Did I refresh? Current time, yes, exactly, that's what I made a mistake. I didn't mean current time. It's gonna go through as well in current time. What I meant, it should be from, let's say make this one from 12 a.m. Well, that's the minimum value I want to pass was, and I can say in email.com and have 8 people, and now you see value must be 12 or later. We have to solve the problem, but the problem now is the different problem. Let's say we are at sometime later, and the reservation can be started from 12, but it is, let's say, 3 o'clock, and the person wants to create a reservation from 3 o'clock. Maybe he's at 3 o'clock, but he wants to create it from 3:30 or from 4. We should also not be allowing the person to select time which is past. We are not allowing him to select him to before 3 o'clock. And that's the reason we need to provide them some kind of condition. We need to check if current time, I'm going to check them if the current time is bigger. It means if it's bigger than 12 a.m., it means that the 12 a.m. is already past. We should be only selecting the current time, whatever the current time is. It's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. We will not allow him before that time. Else, if that is not true, we can go back to 12. I mean, we are not allowing them to select them for 11, but it should be 12. We need to pass this condition, have this check, and if it's 3 o'clock and some customer is making reservation, he will not be allowed to select 2 o'clock or 2:30 or even 3:49. It should be the current time and onwards. And then that's true for the max time as well. That's how we control the boxes, and they are very important when we are making a booking. Yeah, and that section is now finished. For the next section, we're going to create the confirmation site. Hi guys, we have created our form in last lesson. In this lesson, we're going to build our confirmation box next to the form box. And I have a request, a kindly request. If you do like the videos, please do subscribe and like the videos. Okay, let's go create a new component where we can display our data on this site. I'm going to go into the reservation folder and create a new component. You can get a confirmation, save the component and go back to page.js confirmation, save and go back to confirmation component and check. Okay, we have our confirmation component here. Now we're going to style our confirmation components. We have most of the style will look like exactly the same. I need this information from here and pass it to the section. I slightly need to change the background color to different color. Okay, and we have our box on the site. I'm going to copy h1 from booking. Will look the same. Next, we'll change the text, click the button, and we're going to create a new section where I can have my button, and we need to have some p tag. We'll say there x. We will replace the x with the data once we receive the data. We'll create a new section here. In that section, I need to display some information where a person can see what the reservation is. We'll say your table is reserved on, and then I will have spam here for the different color. I will say X time and then X date, and that is for the table. And and then we need to go say for X people, and that is p tag where the table reservation information is. And we're going to create a new p tag. We will tell them your reservation ID is, and again spam. I need to give them a different color. That's the reason I'm creating spams. X ID. We'll replace X ID with the ID, and after spam we need to have a more text. Please do note your ID, your reservation ID. That is the reservation ID, and we need to create more p tags for more information. We're going to provide them. We will tell them if for some reason the booking is not displayed, then we will tell them please contact us. And we'll get some BR tags here, and then create a new. Now after BR tag, I might tell them having one p tag on me, and also say please let us know in summary if for some reason they don't want to come. Let us know if you want to cancel the reservation. And we have that section. We have some information, and of course after that we can also tell them thank you for your reservation. Okay, we have that one. What we can do now, we can also provide the contact details here as well. Again, the contact details are already on the footer available. We have the contact details, but it's a good practice to tell them in case they want to cancel, they can see the details here as well. For that reason, we will make one h1 where we can just say we can do again the same information, provide the same information, contacts detail, and we can just here a paragraph. We will provide phone number, some dummy number, and we also need to provide them an email address in case they want to email us. We can just copy and paste the same email we have here. Okay, we have our information. Now it's time to, okay, we have the button, and the button should be the same as the one from the booking. I'm going to copy the information, the style, and pass it to that button, except I don't want the color to be orange. I want the color to be lime as well. Okay, a little bit different hover color, maybe 700. We have that style in place. We're going to style a little bit the p tag. Okay, this is fine. We can have some margin bottom here as well. Can say margin bottom of 2 to move it a little bit this way, maybe 3. Oh, that is just, we have this one, but we need some styling for maybe this section. And class name, we did text p. I can do the text p, cut it here, put it here for all my items, unless it's h1. I will change it. I want to repeat myself here. Maybe I have some background here, different background for the page where we display the information, tell them that is the booking. Yeah, I want to have this one, this one I want. Can give them some padding. Okay, look nice. Let me just start. We have for people, and we can make, now what we want is, I made here a spam class. That's the reason I need to make them a different color, just to show them that that is their reservation ID table, and people's, they should be displayed in different color, e.g. Okay, that's what I want here. I might just give them a little bit, maybe look nice. I need the same class for other spams as well, for example for that one, and I don't think we have more spams. That is done. I need the h1, the h1 as well. Copy that one, paste it here, and I can make this, that one lime, and I'm missing class name. Save it, and I have done this one. I might give them a little bit different background color, maybe 800, and some padding as well. See, yeah, that is, I think that will look nice if I make the whole section. Class name, yeah, that look nice if we do this way. And we are almost finished with style. It look nice. That's okay. We don't need, only I think I forgot to have X people with a different orange color as well. Next time, and X people, and the X people is not in spam. It should be in spam as well. For X people. Okay, oh, just margin left maybe. Okay, the style is finished right now. What is now we can do is to go on with our functionality. At the moment person fills in the form, click, I want, maybe I take all this information from here to here, not disappear. And once we make reservation, I want to display the information. In some case, when the information doesn't display, make that. And for that, we need customer. We need to go back here and import the customer and pass the customer to our confirmation component. We have already created customer table in the database. We can declare a new variable. We can name it customers and get customers. We can pass the customer is object or props. Save it and receive the customer here. Save it. Okay, we have our customer. What we want to display? We want to display the last customer, the person who reserved the table. We want the last customer, and we say last customer. We can easily say customers min.length -1. That will give us the last customer. All the information of the last customer will be provided through. And if we log the customer here and say last customer, we should see the last customer maybe here, undefined. I misspelled the length. Okay, now we have the last customer, we see the last customer, and we can get the information of the last customer just by indexing the name. We can just say last customer dot name dot brackets last customer dot name and save it. I don't like the console logs. I'm going to remove that one. And as you see, we have the name. First, I need to store this data somewhere. We are in the database installed, but I want to store data somewhere else than database, in the local storage or in the session where we can just display the data and destroy the data just for some time. For that, I'm going to use useState. I will make my component use client. Once we turn our component to use state hook, we need to make our component use client, otherwise it's not going to work. Const say user, and I need in object, in empty object for now, I can say booking and set booking. Okay, as I said, I want to put my customer, first I need to put my customer inside the booking, and I need to call booking every time, but I need to have this data saved somewhere, and I'm gonna save it in use effect. Every time my component loads, I want that component to have the information, and that information is, I'm going to use local storage. For local storage, I'm gonna set the item first. I'm going to give the name for the confirm for the object inside the local storage, and I also want to turn the object to JSON.stringify. I need to make in real JSON file from we can do that. We can say JSON.stringify past information, which is last customer. That's what I want. I want that effect to be taking every time in consideration when the booking can say use effect, it has a missing last customer. Yeah, now we have our use effect, and let's check there is any. I mean, there will be nothing unless, let's check. Let me go to this in application, and as you see, I have confirmation object here. Is a confirmation, and I have the last customer display. It's already has been passed to our use state and is in the booking. That's how we see it, and we can take information from here and then display it on the screen here instead of going to the customer and displaying the information there. We have set everything here, but we are not getting the information back. For that, we need to use effect as well, because local storage is a side effect, and we need to somehow put the data here through the set booking method. We can say set booking, and we can set the booking. First, we're going to check if our local storage dot get item has the confirm key. If that is true, if we have anything inside the local storage with that key which contains an object, then I want to set this in the booking, in the book variable, the booking variable, sorry, and I need to pass it as well, because it's a JSON format. I need to pass back to the JavaScript object, and I can copy the same local storage get item and pass it here. Once we save it, hopefully we are getting our name back. That's how we can retrieve our information and put it back in the booking use state. Now we have our information, and we can change the axis what we had, and that was booking dot and date, booking dot time. We had booking dot x people, hopefully don't people, and the last one we had booking dot unique ID. Here it's okay. We have our information. We're displaying the date. We're not displaying the date, we're displaying the time, and it's a booking dot date on 11/85. I have name, email, comment, which should be after name, email, and then the reason which is causing an issue, and then I have image source, date, time, people, unique ID. Okay, and should be the same name, email, image source, date, time, people. They should be in the same order, and that's the reason they're not. Let's make a new customer, and we say cache name, cache email.com, information container say 4, telling us should be at 12. It's a good thing. Making reservation at 3, and data is been passed. Refresh. Okay, we have our information. We have person, we have the date, time, we have the unique ID is displaying here and telling us we need the ID too. Okay, we finished. No, I'm kidding, we're not finished. We have an extremely big problem here. Let me just point out, as I said, we don't want this information to be displayed in different browsers to different people. They're unique to the person who is making reservation. How can we make that information unique? There are different ways we can do. First of the thing will be that I want to compare the information somewhere where I can compare my information and see where I can check how I want to display my data. We cannot check on date and time persist. We need to check them on created it. At the moment person creates, we need that information. We need that date, and we also need that time. But for the time we need hour and minutes. We don't need the seconds. If we choose the seconds, it will display just for a second and will disappear. We want to display them at least for some minute, 1 to 2 minutes, maybe for a longer time, but not more than that. We want to disappear after that, and it should be only available for that person, because we're using, of course, local storage. It shouldn't be available for someone else. And we also need to have this information for certain amount of time. I'm sure it's not gonna, I don't know, as I said, it's going to be displaying in different browser. Let's see it does displaying in different browser, because we are, of course, we're saving in the local storage. We are calling the last customer in set item. We don't want the last customer. We want the last customer, but on certain condition. Okay, to figure that out, we're going to do it at create time. We need to do a lot of work to split the date and time and the hour and the minutes, and then come with some kind of condition to display this information. That will be something. Let's start first creating. I don't want the last customer only, but I want the last customer created at last customer. The last customer, we need to create it at a different one. Sorry for that. I meant we need to create a time. We will say created time, or we can name it customer created at, and then we can say customers and get the last customer, of course, again, length -1, and then dot created at, and that's what we want here. Save. Okay, this is the created time. We have the created time, the customer created time, but the customer created time, we want to split it in different. We want to have one in created time. Instead, I can name it that customer created time and date. I can say created maybe date, and the other one I need to have. The other one is to be created time. Copy, and this one should be time. Camel casing time. First, we're gonna get the date. We already done this, very easy. We need to split it on this. This will not have a T between. This had a space between, as you remember. And then I need the first item. Yeah. Now I have my date. I log that one. Go to .log and paste it here. Go back and see my log. I should have unsupported URL. Okay, this is my date, and we have the date, and that's a good thing. And now the time to split the time. The time will be a little bit complicated, because let me just go back and I will show you the time in application. That is a little bit difficult. It's not that difficult, but you need to require more work. And the time has been split by 2 commas and 2 commas, and I need the first and the second one. How can we get that information from here? We can split it on space. First we need the time, of course, like we did here, but instead we don't need the date, but we need the time. We can split it on space, and we want time. Now we have the time. Yeah, and now we need to split it again. We're going to split it again. This time I'm going to split it on these two dots. Yeah, I'm splitting here now. And then I'm going to slice that, because I have the time, I'm splitting on the dots, but I need the 0, I need the first hour and the second, the minutes. I don't want the second. When I slice it, I can join them back and join them on space. And if I now paste this one here and go back to my console, now I have my time, the exactly same time what it is displayed in our computer. This is the current hour and minutes. Okay, we have this side of the hour and minutes. Also, this hour is I'm getting down, I'm splitting that one from the database. That is not, sorry, the current one. These one are from the database, but we need to have also the current one. We need to match them. At the moment a customer creates something in the form, at the same time the time has been recorded by data, and we are splitting that data. And we also need the current time to compare them. It will take maybe 1 to 5 seconds, but when the comparison is done on that moment, it will put it in our local storage, and it will be seen only in one browser. Let me just start create. Now we need to create our current date time. I'm going to declare a new variable, or say current date, maybe current % new date. Okay, I'll say const current date. Maybe I can say created date. I'm creating say current date dot to ISO. We have already done that one, and exactly the same. And we're gonna split it again, and we're gonna split it on T, and we need the first part. That will be our current date, and const created date. Sorry, created time. We will also say current date for the time what we need again to ISO. That is a little bit complicated. Not complicated, it's a bit of a long string. We need to split it multiple times. We're gonna do it on T again. This time I need the second part instead of the first part, and also split it again. Before I split it, let me just show you it will look differently than we have in the database. Just console.log, because you will be confused because I'm splitting different way this time. And let's just point out, now we have a different time. This time we have a time, hour, minute, a second, then we have a dot, and then we have a millisecond, and then we have a Z. We don't want that part, and we also want that part. We need to split these two parts out. Only take these two parts the way we did it here. We can use the same split method, but we have a little bit longer route this time, because we have here a dot, and we also have split double dots, and then we have dot and double dot, and then we can slice it. Let's just slice. Okay, we need two parts, and then we can join them back. Space. I see the error. Of course, when I split on dot, I also need the first part, because I forgot why this one dot, and then see if I have more errors. Grinded to ISO split one, still not saved. Now we have hour and minutes, hour and minutes here, and hour and minute here. We need to compare these two. We can declare new variable and give them a name. And now we need somehow to, first I can declare a new variable, or we'll say current created, and can join these two variables. Now I say $date, and the second one will be pasted. I need this one, and of course create a new one. It shouldn't be the current one, it won't be the customer created it, copy, paste, and now I have both the variables here. Then I am going to use ternary operator to see if they both match. If they both match, then I need the last customer. Okay, I'm going to say customers current date instead. If that is the same, remove that one. If they both match, sorry, that one created it. If they both match, I want the last customer. Else, I'm going to return the booking, which is an empty object. say question mark. Now we need that variable to pass here to the set item instead of, we do need that one as well. We just pass that one. No errors. Right now we have taken care of all our information, and now hopefully we're going to try, give them a try if it's working or not. So gol@email.com account book table before 12. Let me put it 12 and save and refresh, and that is very nice. It looked very good. I mean, this is one of the functionality. It's not complicated, but it's taking time to find out the logic. How can we display things? And this is exactly what I was talking about. And we still supposed to be checking this one here, and as you see now, if I go to different browser, I'm here in different browser, and you see the information here, but you don't see the information. This is exactly what I was talking. It doesn't matter in which browser you are. Point is, the person who booked a table will only him will be able to see the information, not the other person in a different browser, maybe in the same browser but in different session. Even we open a different session of course over Chrome. I don't know if it's gonna display it, but it should not display it. Okay, new window, and see if, and it's not displaying it with a different session. Yeah, and that is very nice technique to use it. But we have some small thing to do. We need to somehow not to display this information if we don't have any reservation, and we also don't want to refresh the page. We want to click the button to refresh the page for us. And of course this time has been displayed in American style. I want to change this to UTC time, and to do that I need to check if my object, which is that, if that is empty, nobody has made a reservation, I don't want to display anything. That's the first thing I want to check. I can check my object. I can check it here. You see, if my object is empty, I don't want to display anything. Const empty object. I'm going to just look for the object keys first. I'm going to turn them to object.keys. I'm going to turn them to the variable I'm passing the object itself, because I'm checking that object. I'm checking the key length. If that is 0, and two checks, the booking dot constructor, and the constructor is a object. If they both are true, it means the object is empty. I don't want to display all the way till here. What I can do, I'm going to make a new here code, and I will say if my object is empty. Let's say if it's empty, what I want, nothing else, which is that information. I need to pass it here, and that's going to complain because I need to make them, there is nothing. Yeah, instead of just passing nothing, I can pass an empty section and give them a little bit style. Exactly, maybe give them a bit of same background. Save the information here and refresh. We have nothing. Information will be only available for a certain amount of time. Now we don't see anything here unless we make new reservation. Once we make new reservation, we will see the data there. And the second part I wanted to show you was to turn our date to different format, because I don't like that format. To do that, I need to create a new date format. Let me create it here and get a new date. And that one, and that date will have booking.date to local string. I'm going to turn it to local string. I'm going to pass here English GB, and the options I'm going to pass here will be time zone. Time zone, I wanted it, and I save. Now I need to pass that information to the where the date was. I need to copy. And we had the booking.time, we had booking.name, booking.date. I already passed this booking.date to the formatted date here. Instead, I can display here formatted date, and I'm going to change our date. Let us create a new one. And this time, I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to say do, button box.com, and let's try our, because we are open at 11, let's just try booking table at the same time the closing time. Let's try, is he allowing us or not? It should not allow us. Maybe just 00, and value must be 10 o'clock. Okay, let's make it 10 and save as a sign and refresh. Voila, we have our info. But as I said, I don't want to display by refreshing that button, and we need to find the button we created here, and that button we can just provide the on click to reload the handle. Can copy this one and go somewhere up. Maybe we can create it after this one. We can create new function here, arrow function this time. I'm going to reload, and of course I also need to return the last customer as well, because I'm going to reload the last customer here, because I want the last customer and the variables reload, and then I want to return the last customer as well. As we refresh, that does a refresh job and disappears because we don't have a customer. We need to create a new customer. Let's say Chapak Nano. I'm gonna say Chapak it mail.com, and Chapak's will come at 14 and 9 people and reserve. And if we don't see anything here, we can click, we have our info. And that is, guys, for this application. We have done a lot of work in this application. We have created components at homepage, a lot of new components and good effects and good stuff. It looks very nice. And we have created our menu. We have navigation, beautiful navigation, detail page, and we can click and get in detail about the product, reservation page. We can book table. We have completed our application. I need to apply some animations here on the footer, a fire animation. For that, I have copied and pasted code for the code pen, and I've included the author name as well here, and it's already in the CSS file. If you want, you can get it from the GitHub and copy and paste it to. We have animation class here, and we do also need the image to be imported. Well, we can put in the root because we want to put on the footer. We want to go to, and then we go back, and we want to go to the layout, and we will put it beneath the footer. If I will create a new spam, maybe div. We're just doing nothing with the div. I'm going to place the file animation, and because the animation is position absolute and the parent should be relative, we will make this one relative. And of course we need to apply some z index as well, minus z index of maybe 10 is okay. We will go to minus side and save. As you see, we see our animation here, but the menu is not clickable and the icons are also not clickable anymore, but the animation is displaying. Let's go to our footer where we have our menu and we have also the icons there. It should be in footer.js. Let me close. What we want to do, we want the navigation make them a z index of 10, not minus, but z index of 10. And we also want, that is for the icons, and we also want for the section links, put it here and see they're now clickable. We can go to different pages from here as well, and we see our beautiful fire animation. Okay, we have applied our fire animation. Now it is time to go to our database. I have made some classes and I made also a table for the product as well, and it is exactly the same like we made the one in the customer. I don't want to do the typing again. I've already typed everything for you guys. There is a table I've created, a product table. If not exists, the code is available, and I have also inserted the collection to the function insert collection as well. And I created one delete file in case we want to delete all the data from the table. We're not dropping the table, but we're deleting only the data. If we call that function, it will delete all the data from product past the customers here. Gonna delete everything from the customer page. And we had already get customers, but I also created get products as well. And I also created delete item when we can delete one item in a time. I made it an object. When we want to delete it, we can pass object here, but we can use that function also in the website where we can delete individual products if we can give them in onClick functions. And that one is the old one, was the post one, we used it already. Okay, let's go to apply all our database functions, and we need to adjust everything we have. We need to close everything. We're going to go back. We're going to start with the app and the page.js where we're passing products and customers from our file. Now we're going to pass our data from, not from file, but we're going to pass our data from the database. We have get products function where we can get our data. We can cut that one and declare a variable, call it products, the same name like the one we have here. We can delete that one and save it. Now all the data will be passed through here to all the slideshow, popular review, and marquee page. And if you go back here and refresh, it is still working. It means it's passing data from the database. We can do the same for the get customers as well. We can just get customers and then declare a new variable here, customers, and get customers. And if we delete the import, everything should work. At least that's the point. Okay, it's working on home page. It's time for the menu page. We need to also have both the information if we need it. I'm going to copy that one. I'm going to go back to the file explorer, going to app menu. Here I need both of the information as well. Pass both information. I need to import them. It's a trick where you can import the thing in VS Code, and if I save, it should still work. They're working in the detail page, but not in the, maybe in the detail page where we haven't imported in the detail page. We need to go here in the detail page. What are we using here? We're using product and customers here as well. We need to import that one here as well. Go back to the menu, copy these two ones here, and need the ID, import that one. They both are imported. We can remove that one. Now we are using the database data here as well. Now as you see, at the moment I imported the customer data, you see there's more picture added because we have more clients. They have done the reservation and the picture is picking up where we have cleared the picture in the, let me show you where it was. It was in the menu detail page. Sorry, where we done the reservation, it should be in booking page. Here, this is the image we are sending to the database, and the database is picking up these images here. They're showing here. Okay, where we done this one here. Let me just copy that one and close these pages, and we need to check which one is the last one. Did we apply it everywhere? We had here's page, that page font. There's nothing in the font. I'm gonna go to reservation one as well. Okay, in reservation one we have already imported the customers here. We were working on the customer before, and we have passed this one to the confirmation. It means we already have data from the database. Now everything has been, all the data has been passed through the database at this time. Nothing is from the static file, and it should be in these database files. This is the database file we have created, and it's been automatically created for us. So we create a new object and pass the name to it. And what we do want to do now is to build our application. Before I build an application, I think we need to go to the menu page. And from the menu page, because on a dynamic page, we were using a use prom here, if you remember. I don't remember did we pass the suspense or not, because if we haven't passed the suspend, we build our page, we will get an error. That is something from the Nextjs. We need to wrap our items in the suspense, and we need to go back to our, it was in the menu, and we had the products. Inside the products, we did use here a search prompt. And when we're using a search prompt in the component, we're using in this case in the product component search. For that we need to, let me go what's happening. Okay, for that we need to go back to that page, because we're using the search prompt in the product component. We need to wrap the product component with the suspense. Otherwise we will get an error where we're going to build an item. Let me just from React suspense import it, and remove this one, and then suspense we need to just move that one here and save it. We're going to go back here and stop our server, clear it. Now you're going to do npm run. Instead of dev, we're going to build it for production, and once I click, we need to wait for it. It's going to take some time to build our product. Let me just wait for it. It's going to compress all the files, everything, and once everything has been compressed, hopefully we don't have any errors and any problems. And if we do have something, we don't have anything. It's just showing us what kind of file do we have. We have one of them is a dynamic. Let's get it marked with the F. It's showing us a dynamic server rendering on demand page, and this is everything we have. And if we do npm start, that is a production link. We need to close that one and start. It will give us a production link. It is the same localhost, but this is a production link. That's not a development link. Let's go check if everything is working. The images are showing. These are working. These are working. You need to get the menu page. It's working. You need to get the link one. These are working. I need to click the reservation page, and these are working as well. Before I enter any data here, I don't know if I revalidate my path for the caching. Let me go back and check it. I need to go back to components where we send our data. We send our data in booking, and yeah, I did revalidate my page here. And we need to revalidate. We need to import that function revalidate path from next/cache, and we need to pass this one to the function where we send the data. If we don't do that, our page will not work in production, because the Nextjs is doing a caching, an extremely aggressive caching. And in production is more aggressive caching than the development. What we need just to provide revalidate path / we want to revalidate that path. It means we do not want to cache that page, because we are doing a post request. We are mutating a data to the database, and once it's cached, we cannot get the data back from the database, because it's going to use the cache unless we totally get off our browser and restart it and booking.js page, and we need to provide it here. And now we can insert some data here. Gotak, we'll just say gotak at email.com. You can say 16, 5 people, make reservation, get, and we have our reservation here. We have the date, time, people, and the unique ID. Everything has been displayed. At the moment, as you see, we are working on a production page and not on a development page, and it seems everything is working, and it's look very wonderful. And I hope you guys liked it, what I did. In the future, I may be building some different kind of application, maybe with vanilla JavaScript or accounting application. But if you guys just support me and push that like button and subscribe it will help us a lot. Thank you very much, guys. The journey has been ended here, and I will see you in next application, inshallah. Bye guys, take care.